It's Thursday, January 8th. Today, assessing the damage. The latest from Pimicikamak, Cree Nation, after being in the dark for almost a week following a power outage. Jeopardizing livelihoods. Could Manitoba jobs be at stake as Ontario Premier Doug Ford vows to pull Crown Royal off the shelves? Plus, top curlers head to Steinbach, a new arena, and a world of new opportunities, all starting with this week's world-class curling tournament. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. It is 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley McPhail is live in a beautiful show home this morning. It is one of the homes that is a mega prize in the St. Boniface Mega Million Choices Lottery. She's going to break it down for us and tell us a little bit more about some of the important deadlines that are happening today and some of the major prizes that you could win. But not only are you potentially going to get a beautiful home or some serious cash, you're also helping patient care in this province. So we're going to break that down for you. But let's talk about the weather, Catherine. It's been so incredible. My car is so dirty from all the gross stuff on the street.
That's melting under the heat.
I'm not complaining at all.
Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with a dirty car if it means I'm walking outside and the air isn't hurting my face. Today, no exception. We're going to have another lovely day and that sunshine is back, which was in short supply from Monday to about Wednesday. I guess we had it back yesterday. -1 degree here in Winnipeg to kick us off. Barely a wind chill in effect, much milder than what we were dealing with to start off yesterday in the last few days. Winds, though, are much stronger out of the west-southwest at 20, gusting at times to 32 kilometers per hour. Pressure on the rise, humidity sitting at 87%. So yes, we're going to have lots of sunshine on the way. You can see on our Skywatch radar, there's a little bit kind of in mid parts of the province, but for the most part, we're starting off on a decently clear note. However, there is a possibility of some flurry activity coming to northern Manitoba. So about a 30% shot of it in the northwest throughout the day. Much stronger chance of it. Periods of light snow or flurries with that system there lifting into the northeast. As the evening progresses, you'll see that system swirl around. That risk continues in the northwest. Then it should taper off. But a separate system coming in likely into Friday will be bringing about 2 to 4 centimeters worth of snow to the northwest by Friday into Saturday, while we stay in the sunshine and then start off Saturday under a mix of sun and cloud. From there, in terms of our temperatures, we're doing well, not quite as warm as yesterday, but still well above seasonal. -5 is our high, -13 is what's normal. Overnight, we'll see those winds let up a little bit, temperatures dipping down to -14. Into tomorrow, a high of -8. Some overnight snow, though, likely moving in on Friday, tapering off by Saturday, and that's when we get a bit of a cool down. Still warm, -10 degrees, but we rebound nicely on Sunday with a high of -2.
Thanks, Catherine. We're getting our first up-close look at the damage on Pimicikamak, Cree Nation. On Wednesday, reporters and officials were given a tour of the devastation following last week's prolonged power outage. And as CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you, the remote community is in crisis, and the chief says help is needed.
We are going to fight for our people. We're going to fight for our infrastructure.
Pimicikamak Chief David Monius pleaded for help during a tour of the community Wednesday. Schools are closed, floods and fires have wreaked havoc, and dozens of homes have become uninhabitable. Murphy Trout lives in the nation, more than 530 kilometers north of Winnipeg. Despite the state of his home, he has to stay put.
There's nowhere else to stay. I have to stay as long as there's a roof.
Sonia Ross said she still doesn't know the extent of the damage in her home.
I still have to check the damage in my rooms, like around the beds, see if there's I had weeping walls, right? And most of my beds are against the wall, so I have to see if there's going to be mold damage on these beds too, where my children sleep. We need more help.
That's the situation on the ground Wednesday, more than a week after the remote nation went dark due to a power outage on December 28th. Power has been restored, but damage is still being tallied. Federal and provincial leaders toured the community Wednesday alongside the media.
I'm here to make the news around the CAF request, not a funding request.
Manitoba Premier Kinew is echoing Chief Monius's call for the Canadian military to come in, but stopped short of offering funds. Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs Rebecca Chartrand and AMC National Chief Cindy Woodhouse were also on the tour. Thousands of people are evacuated and there's no timeline for their return. Now the community needs plumbers and other service people to fix broken pipes and overflowing sewage. Plumber Randy Spence says it will take time.
I've been working for 40 years for the community, and I just want to help them live it. But it's impossible to do everything just like that, eh?
Chief Monius says the nation needs help now.
This is our home. This is our land.
At the moment, one of 3 water treatment plants is operating. As a result, there is a boil water notice throughout the community. Some positive year-end numbers from Winnipeg Police. There was a stark drop in homicides in 2025. According to preliminary data, there were 21 homicides in our city last year. That's far below the 41 reported a year earlier and nearly half the 5-year average. A police spokesperson says as of November, homicide detectives had a clearance rate of 84% for 2025, meaning they had solved 16 of the then 19 homicides. A frightening moment for a driver on a bridge near Kinew, Quebec has been caught on camera. The video shows the vehicle colliding with another car on Sunday morning. Seconds later, the driver loses control and the vehicle launches over the edge of the bridge and into the Kinew River. Snow had accumulated on the side of the bridge, acting like a ramp. Incredibly, the vehicle did not crack the thick ice on the water, and the driver walked away with only minor injuries. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be meeting with officials in Denmark next week as U.S. President Donald Trump continues to push for a takeover of Greenland.
I'm not here to talk about Denmark or military intervention. I'll be meeting with them next week. We'll have those conversations with them then.
This comes after U.S. President Donald Trump and his officials said they are actively talking about the potential offer to buy Greenland. Greenland is a self-governing territory of Denmark. Rubio didn't clarify who exactly he would be meeting with next week, but the foreign ministers of both Denmark and Greenland have requested an urgent meeting with Rubio to discuss the situation.
He said we will always be there for NATO, even if they are not there for us. And I think that answers your question directly.
White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt had that to say when asked about the White House refusing to rule out the use of military force to take control of Greenland. In a long post on social media, Donald Trump said, quote, "Russia and China have zero fear of NATO without the United States, and I doubt NATO would be there for us if we really needed them." Trump also said NATO members would not have increased their defense spending targets without his pressure. It all comes after the White House said in a statement, quote, "The president and his team are discussing a range of options to pursue this important foreign policy goal. And of course, utilizing the U.S. military is always an option." Former Liberal cabinet minister Chrystia Freeland has revealed she will resign her seat in the House of Commons tomorrow. In a social media post, Freeland said she's departing as an MP after accepting an unpaid economic advisor role to the Ukrainian president. The opposition previously accused her of being in a conflict by being a sitting MP and advising a foreign government. Former City of Winnipeg CAO Phil Schiegel has paid his $1.1 million court-ordered judgment to the city in relation to the police headquarters scandal.
It's good news for the people of Winnipeg. We fought this in court because we believe the people needed to be paid back, and plain and simple.
It comes after a civil court judge ruled Schiegel accepted a $327,000 bribe from a contractor. Meantime, Caspian Construction and several other defendants were ordered to pay $21.5 million. That number was set to increase every year. It wasn't paid and will total $28 million if not paid by March. A city spokesperson says so far, just $500,000 has been collected. The project to convert the old Canada Post building ran $79 million over budget by the time it was completed in 2016. There is an RCMP investigation, and in 2019, the prosecution service decided not to lay charges, citing an unlikelihood of a conviction.
Since the police headquarters matter, we have made changes at the City of Winnipeg. We've implemented recommendations of external audits. We've hired a chief construction officer to provide better oversight of our major projects and to provide better information to councillors as well. And so a lot has changed since the days of Phil Schiegel.
An inquiry into the matter is set to get underway February the 10th. Economists from accounting firm Deloitte are predicting modest growth for our province's GDP in 2026. In the company's winter economic outlook, Deloitte says trade uncertainty is being felt across Manitoba's economy. It points to a slowdown in hiring in the trucking industry as export activity weakens. In 2025, household spending held up in our province. However, Deloitte believes a rising unemployment rate will weigh on spending this year. In the year ahead, Manitoba's GDP is projected to reach 1.4%. Here's what's happening now at Confusion Corner. It looks like things are starting off really well. The streets are a little bit slippery this morning, though, and so you should be mindful of that. Give yourself some extra stopping distance, please. And there are some areas outside of the city where there is blowing snow also affecting the drive. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live this morning at a beautiful home, and it looks really fabulous so far. You're in Sage Creek. Good morning.
This is what I do, Rochelle, when I come to these lottery homes. I kind of just poke my head around and I go, I like this layout. Look at that fireplace. Well, Manitoba, we're in a beautiful hearth home right now, and it could be yours as a part of the Mega Millions Choices Lottery. There's 5 different home packages, 6 different grand prizes, and an opportunity to win $1.2 million. Those homes, by the way, are worth over $1.5 million as well. Something else that I noticed too was the World Cup experience. That's coming up as well. That might perk your ears up. But of course, the St. Boniface Hospital Foundation is leading the way in some world-class research that we're going to be hearing about as well. So when you purchase that ticket, that's where it's all going.
Okay, well, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there?
You know, it's pretty lovely. A lot of times if I'm covering weather and I have to go out to the rooftop, I'm delaying it. I'm kind of dragging my feet. I have a pep in my step when I walk out now because it is mild, pleasant to be out here. Nice to get fresh air. It's -2 degrees. That wind chill just making it feel closer to -9. Decently clear, 1 or 2 clouds speckling the sky, but nothing that strong. Winds are out of the west or southwest at 22 clicks, messing up my hair. The pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 85%. So northern Manitoba, you could have some flurry activity, particularly in the northeast. To the northwest, you also have a shot of it, but likely you're going to stay dry under a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures there decent above seasonal in the mid-teens. For us here in southern Manitoba, lots of sunshine to enjoy. Different from yesterday, though, some stronger westerly winds at 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Still above seasonal highs, not quite as warm as yesterday. That looks like -5 in Winnipeg when -13 is seasonal. Overnight tonight, 1 or 2 clouds. Winds let up a little bit, and overnight in the northwest, you're likely to get some snowfall. Into tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, more above seasonal values for Winnipeg, and lots more sunshine into the weekend as well. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg just ahead.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are. We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
Good morning. There are questions about how a move to yank Crown Royal from Ontario liquor store shelves could impact our province. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he's moving ahead with a plan to pull the iconic whiskey from LCBOs because a bottling facility is relocated to the U.S. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, that has some concern about the future of the plant in Gimli, where Crown Royal is made.
There are concerns about how Ontario's decision to pull a popular whiskey from liquor stores could impact Manitoba.
If you have your #1 customer spending hundreds of millions of dollars, why would you try to hurt that customer?
On Monday, Premier Doug Ford said he will be removing Crown Royal from the LCBO's listings. This after Diageo, the company that makes the whiskey, announced last year they were shutting down an Ontario bottling plant and moving it to the U.S. And now there are questions as to what this means for this province. Ontario is one of the largest buyers of alcohol on the planet, and the Diageo plant in Gimli, which produces Crown Royal, employs dozens of people.
Decisions like this by Premier Ford I would say it's jeopardizing livelihoods in the Interlake.
Derek Johnson, the local PC MLA, says he and party leader Abhi Khan have written a letter to Doug Ford asking him to reverse course. Johnson says the Gimli plant spurs a lot of spin-off jobs too, including for rye producers.
Like they all hire people to help them for harvest, and it's important that we ensure that those jobs remain here in Interlake Gimli.
The union representing workers at the Gimli plant says they want to remind Ford if you buy Crown Royal, you're supporting Manitoba jobs. Diageo hasn't informed us about any job losses at the Manitoba plant, but if cutbacks were proposed, the union would fight back. The Manitoba Chambers of Commerce believes this will have a negative impact and is encouraging Premier Wab Kinew to speak with Ford.
My good friend Wab Kinew, I love the guy, by the way. You know, they're doing a little production there in Quebec too, but it's all a bunch of BS. It's all going to Alabama, mark my words.
A statement to CTV News from Manitoba Trade Minister Jamie Moses reads, quote, Manitobans and Ontarians are standing up to Trump and looking to support Canadian. That's why both provinces took American booze off our shelves. Buying Crown Royal supports Manitoba jobs. Now's the time to support Canadian workers and products, and that's our plan. We reached out to Diageo and have not heard back. The Winnipeg Airports Authority wants to develop some land it owns in Centerport, and it's willing to fund the major infrastructure projects required to make it happen. A new report at City Hall recommends Winnipeg enter into an agreement for services with the WAA. It would allow the Airport Authority to connect to city water and sewer lines. The Airport Authority would be required to both fund and build the major underground infrastructure needed. This includes water mains, sewers, and other items needed to connect to the city systems. The report will be discussed at the next Property and Development Committee hearing. Prime Minister Mark Carney is planning to host premiers in Ottawa later this month to talk trade. Senior government sources tell CTV News that the First Minister's meeting will take place on January 29th. It comes just over a month after the last meeting, which was held virtually with the exception of Ontario Premier Doug Ford, who took part in Ottawa with Carney. The meeting comes as the CUSMA is set for review later this year. The Manitoba Métis Federation is positioning itself to become a major supplier of wind-generated electricity. The MMF says its energy branch, the Red River Métis Power Corporation, has signed a memorandum of understanding with International Renewable Energy Company, RES. MMF President David Chartrand says the Federation is currently in talks for a 200-megawatt wind energy project. For context, that would be about 3% of Manitoba Hydro's current net generating capacity.
A 5-year commitment beyond just not putting up the towers, but also the future of expansion of wind, solar, green hydrogen, also storage and distribution. So we attach those into our 5-year agreement with RES. And that'll be part of our ongoing development as we go forward.
It comes after Manitoba Hydro put out a call last year for Indigenous majority-owned wind power. It expects to issue its first request for proposals in March. The Crown utility says it will need new power generation by as early as 2029. It looks like this weekend will be a great time to head over to Assiniboine Park. It's hosting a winter celebration this weekend filled with all sorts of free family-friendly activities, and that includes an outdoor movie.
How did you get in the forest?
The mist parted for us. Impossible.
Hopefully you won't feel too frozen while watching the movie Frozen 2 at the park. It's playing Saturday at 3. Before that, there will also be horse-drawn sleigh rides available starting at noon. Then on Sunday, the park will have TP storytelling, followed by an outdoor screening of Happy Feet at 3. This is in addition to a large variety of winter activities available, including skating, skiing, ice bikes, and guided snowshoe tours. A detailed schedule of events can be found on the park's website. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Colony Street will be closed from Portage to Ellis. Following the rush, all lanes will be closed intermittently on Oxford Street between Academy and Grant. On Corden, all westbound lanes and the eastbound middle lane will be closed from Osborne to Nassau. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us at 10400.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Taking a check-in on our weather this hour. It's -2 degrees with that wind chill, feels more like -9. Decently clear out there. Winds shaking our camera out of the west-southwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 85%. Yes, we're starting off a milder note than we did yesterday, and we're going to be continuing our trend of above seasonal values. As you can see, much of southern Manitoba is currently just a few degrees below freezing. A little bit cooler though in Brandon at -9. That's kind of been the trend through the week. -8 in Dauphin, -11 in Swan River. Very similar temperatures to the north. As you can see, temperatures starting off in the low -teens. Fisher Branch at just -5, Island Lake at -8. The wind chill factor, meanwhile, is not much of a factor except for areas most northerly like Churchill and Lynn Lake. For us here, though, it's just cooling us down a couple degrees. In fact, our wind chill there should be -9. It's showing up as -8. What's going on there, graphics? Your school day forecast. As the kids head to school in Winnipeg, you're looking at about -9 degrees with lots of sunshine. Winds will be a factor, though, out of the west at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Particularly strong in the noon hour, which is when we're hitting our high today, -5 degrees with clear skies, and a bit cooler at -7 as they head home. Into tonight, we should see 1 or 2 clouds joining us, but for the most part decently clear. -14 degrees. The winds do let up, but they ramp up again tomorrow out of the west at about 20 kilometers per hour. Another decent high of -8 under a mix of sun and cloud. And then overnight Friday, we're likely to get periods of snow. Very light, not to amount to too much, but a dusting nonetheless. And then Saturday's our coolest day at -10 before we warm up on Sunday. Our Skywatch picture of the day takes us to Seven Sisters. Just a wonderful shot there of those hay bales dressed in their frosty best. Thanks for sending it in, Heather, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Good morning. If you're looking to spruce up your house, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Renovation Show runs January 16th to the 18th at the RBC Convention Center, and this is your last chance to win tickets. 6 winners will get 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating and a meet and greet with Mike Holmes Jr. Make it right and don't miss out on that chance. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword renovation. Good luck. The small town of Midland, Ontario has a big visitor this week.
He wants to see cool stuff. He likes big boats. What do you think, pal? Pretty cool?
Yeah. Just watching the ice break up. Never seen it before, so thought I'd come down and have a look.
The Vincent Massey, a Coast Guard icebreaker, is on loan to the Great Lakes this winter as the usual ship is out for repairs. This is a much bigger icebreaker than usual, which had lots of people in town coming out to see the ship in the town's harbor before it heads to Thunder Bay. Curling fans will want to hurry hard to Steinbach this week. Some of the best curlers on the planet are hitting the ice at the community's new arena, including teams heading to the Olympics next month. And as CTV's Daniel Homerson shows you, this event is putting Steinbach on the curling world's radar.
If you build it, they will come. The city of Steinbach and its Southeast Event Center is hosting some of the top curling teams from around the globe this week, including Gimli's own Carrie Anderson.
We haven't played an event in Manitoba since 2020, so to be able to be back and in Manitoba is pretty special.
The Crown Royal Players Championship is the Grand Slam of curling's final event of the season, and Anderson says these tournaments definitely live up to the hype.
We have so many amazing, talented athletes here and at the biggest events, and it's definitely, it makes you better. It makes you a better player, and it makes you push yourself to be the best.
The tournament marks the Grand Slam's first full-scale event in Manitoba in 8 years. And while the men's and women's titles won't be decided until Sunday, the tournament is already a win for the $75 million facility. It officially opened in August, and the Players' Championship is the arena's biggest draw to date.
It's an incredible moment for this community. I think that it's a learning moment for the community. I think it's a realization that, oh, the world is going to start watching what we're doing, and they actually are coming.
Broadcaster Robbie Doherty says Steinbach's 2,400-seat venue stacks up against some of the marquee rinks around the world, and players are taking note.
Every powerhouse team in curling from around the world, no matter where they're from, they're here this week in Steinbach, and what an opportunity for not just curling fans, but sports fans to take that in.
Daniel Homerson, CTV News, Steinbach.
Round robin play continues through today and Friday. Organizers expect the weekend playoffs to sell out, but as of now, there are still some tickets available. Here's a look at what's happening outside now at Portage Avenue at Polo Park. Looks like things are moving well over here to start off, but it is a little bit slippery. There's a little bit of a breeze out there polishing those streets, so be mindful of that. We'll be right back after this short break.
Taking a check-in on side, it's outside, it's -2 degrees. That wind chill barely in effect, more like -9. Conditions are very clear. Winds out of the west-southwest, barometric pressure rising, humidity at 85% this hour. So a pretty clear start to our morning here in southern Manitoba, as you can see on our Skywatch. There's a little bit more cloud coverage the further north you go. And with that, we are going to be seeing some flurries in areas of the north. Not the case for us, however. We're dealing with a high of -5 degrees. Winds strong, definitely stronger than we've been seeing through the week. Out of the west at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour under those mainly clear sunny skies. A couple clouds roll in overnight, temperatures dipping down to -14. The wind chill factor factor, not much of a factor. Once again, feeling more like minus 20. Those winds shift and ease a little bit out of the south under those couple clouds. From there, we're dealing with a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Another warm day tomorrow. Not quite as good as we've been seeing, but minus 8 is no slouch, considering minus 13 is typical. Winds once again out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour. From there, we do have a bit of a cool down coming on Saturday, but that's a very relative term because minus 10 is still above seasonal, but we haven't been cracking the minus 10 degree mark in the last number of days, at least this week. With that, a mix of sun and cloud. I should mention as well, overnight on Friday, we're likely to get periods of snow. That'll ease off into Saturday with that mix of sun and cloud. Saturday overnight, we're clear at minus 15 degrees, and we rebound so nicely on Sunday with a high of minus 2 and a mix of sun and cloud. And look at that Monday, we're at a high of 0. Pretty gorgeous to kick off the week.
Thanks, Catherine. A multi-year legal battle between the RM of Thompson and the councillor it tried to remove may have finally reached its conclusion. The RM lost its appeal and has been ordered to cover Donna Cox's legal expenses for the drawn-out court case. It all began back in 2023 when the rookie councillor was ordered to resign for missing 3 committee meetings. But Cox refused, arguing council changed the time of meetings from the evening to the morning, knowing she wouldn't be able to attend. A judge ultimately agreed and ruled Cox could retain her seat and was entitled to 95% of the legal fees she racked up fighting the attempt to remove her. The fees totaled more than $45,000. The RM appealed the decision, but that appeal was dismissed Tuesday. In a brief statement, Reeve Brian Callum says in part, quote, "Of course we are disappointed and confused with the decision. The appeal was about the Municipal Act. All municipalities must follow it. The decision says the Act is open to a liberal interpretation, which is not stated in the Act." And the RM itself issued a statement which reads in part, quote, "Council recognizes the legal process resulted in a financial cost to the municipality. These costs are not taken lightly. However, at the time decisions were made, Council acted in good faith and in a matter it was believed was in the best interests of the municipality as a whole based on the information and advice available," end quote. Tensions are high in Minneapolis, where a woman was fatally shot by an ICE agent. And as investigators work the scene, the shooting and the footage that since emerged are fueling anger and sharply different accounts of what happened. The fear of escalating violence has even prompted the governor to put the National Guard on notice. And we want to warn you, this story contains graphic content.
Anger is boiling over on the streets of Minneapolis amid a dramatic escalation during immigration enforcement operations in that city.
I heard 2 gunshots and a car crash, a really hard car crash, and then I heard yelling.
Footage shows ICE agents walking up to an SUV, one trying to open the driver's door. No! When the vehicle pulls forward, another agent fires the fatal shots, killing a 37-year-old woman.
The one guy said that they reached for her door handle and then she took off and then he shot her through the windshield and shot her in the face.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem described the incident as an act of domestic terrorism carried out against ICE officers.
What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
But local and state representatives reject that description, with Governor Tim Walz posting on social media, "I've seen the video, don't believe this propaganda machine."
What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV. And today that recklessness cost someone their life.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying.
The Twin Cities have been on edge since the Department of Homeland Security announced Tuesday that it had launched the operation, which is at least partly tied to allegations of fraud involving Somali residents. Noem says they've deployed more than 2,000 officers and have made hundreds of arrests. Mayor Jacob Frey has this message to ICE.
To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
As the streets fill with angry citizens, the governor is calling for calm, saying protesting is a patriotic duty, but that it must be done peacefully.
The Trump administration is pulling the U.S. out of dozens of international organizations. The White House listed 66 that it calls, quote, contrary to the interests of the United States. Many of them are UN-related agencies. Among the most notable is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Prime Minister Mark Carney will head to China next week in what will be the first official visit by a Canadian Prime Minister in nearly a decade. This will also be the first visit since China arrested and eventually released Canadians Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor in retaliation for Canada's detention of Meng Wanzhou. The planned visit will take place from January 13th to 17th. The Prime Minister's office says the trip will aim to elevate engagement on trade, energy, agriculture, and international security. And one of the biggest topics that's expected to come up is tariffs. Canada imposed a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles in 2024. The Prime Minister will also travel to Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum from January 19th to the 21st. A study in Nature Cardiovascular Research finds women may gain more heart health benefits from exercise than men. Women who exercise about 4 hours a week lowered their risk of coronary heart disease by 30%, while men needed about 8 hours to match that benefit. Even among people already living with heart disease, women who met the recommended 2.5 hours of weekly exercise had a 3-fold lower risk of death compared to men. Overall, the more time participants spent being active, the lower their risk of heart disease and death. Here's a look at now at what's happening in traffic along Main and Broadway. It looks like things are moving smoothly starting off this Thursday morning. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, though, please give us a heads up. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.24. The provincial average is lower at $1.18. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.19. And the lowest price in the city is $1.02. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Coming up, we're live with the St. Boniface Hospital Mega Million Choices Lottery, telling you about this beautiful home, as well as some of the other fantastic prizes. Stay with us.
It's a crystal clear start to your Thursday here in downtown Winnipeg, and a mild one at that. -2 degrees with that wind chill, feels more like -9. It is clear as mentioned, those winds decently strong out of the west-southwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure on the rise, humidity at 85%. Northern Manitoba, a bit of a mixed bag for you depending on where you're at. The northeast, you've got a good chance of some flurry activity today. Likely could last overnight. Temperatures there decent in the mid to upper minus teens. To the northwest, you too have a slight chance of flurries. Likely it'll be a mix of sun and cloud. And then overnight, you're likely to get periods of snowfall and lasting into tomorrow, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth by Environment and Climate Change Canada's estimation. For us here in southern Manitoba, lots of sunshine on the way. Decently strong westerly winds at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. We in Winnipeg reaching a high of -5. Similar highs felt all through southern Manitoba. Overnight, temperatures dip to the mid-minus teens. We'll get a couple clouds and those winds let up. Into tomorrow, maybe a slight bit cooler at about -7 or -8, but lots of sunshine to enjoy once again before a bit of a cool down coming on Saturday. We're going to check in with Ainsley McPhail, who is daring to dream this morning about winning the lottery, the St. Boniface Hospital's Mega Million Choices lottery to be exact. Ainsley.
Good morning, Catherine. Now, Manitoba, this is the launch day, so you know, and you want to get those tickets early. Todd McNeil joins us now to tell us all about it. So, lots of prizes.
Yeah, for 2026, we have lots of prizes. Again, we're back in 2026. There's cash options for every prize new this year. For those who are a little bit of a soccer fan, we have tickets for 2 to see a World Cup game in Vancouver, Canada playing. So that's an amazing prize option there as well. But you got to get a ticket in order to win one of those amazing prizes.
Okay, you got to play that. The homes, I can't avoid that, because even just looking around right now, this Hearth home is one of them.
Oh, you can win this Hearth home here. It's a beautiful home. There are 5 home packages in our grand prize options. All are worth over $1.5 million. They come with cash, they come with travel, they come with cars. So you get your ticket for that, but you also have the 6th grand prize option, $1.25 million cash. So if you don't want any of the home prizes here in in Winnipeg or a home in the Vancouver Island, you can choose 1.25 million cash.
Oh, not a bad alternative there. Yeah. Something else that I feel personally would be so much fun to win is a 50-50. There's another one of those.
Yeah, the 50-50. Again, last year, the 50-50 got over $1.4 million. So the winner took $724,000 home. So that is like a grand prize. So that's life-changing. But if you get your ticket on the main one, then you get your ticket for the 50-50. It's going to be over $1.1 million for sure by the end. But you've got to get a ticket in order to win it. So, and then we also have our Big Score Plus. There's another $180,000 in cash prizes there as well. So there's more winners with lots of cash to win.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to the reason behind this season is St. Boniface Hospital Foundation, and groundbreaking research is happening there.
Yeah, you know what, the St. Boniface Hospital and the Research Center, they do amazing work there, and the monies raised through our lotteries provide groundbreaking technology, tools, and it provides outstanding patient care. So the outcomes tomorrow are really based on the research we do today. So what happened 20 years ago, whether you're in NICU or had a heart issue, the outcomes today are so different because of all of that investment in research. They're able to do less invasive procedures and get them home quicker.
Mega Million Choices Lottery official launch today. We'll see you again in the 7 o'clock hour.
A look at the early markets. The Dow Jones dropped 155 points. The Nasdaq lost 55. The S&P index is down. The Canadian dollar decreased to 72.7 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is down 309 points. And the Nikkei is 844 points lower. Good morning. It is 6:46. Some positive year-end numbers from Winnipeg Police. There was a stark drop in homicides in 2025. According to preliminary data, there were 21 homicides in our city last year. That's far below the 41 reported a year earlier and nearly half the 5-year average. A police spokesperson says as of November, homicide detectives had a clearance rate of 84% for 2025, meaning they had solved 16 of the then 19 homicides. Former City of Winnipeg CAO Phil Schiegel has paid his $1.1 million court-ordered judgment to the city in relation to the police headquarters scandal.
It's good news for the people of Winnipeg. We fought this in court because we believe the people needed to be paid back, and plain and simple.
It comes after a civil court judge ruled Schiegel accepted a $327,000 bribe from a contractor. Meantime, Caspian Construction and several other defendants were ordered to pay $21.5 million. That number was set to increase every year it wasn't paid and will total $28 million if not paid by March. A city spokesperson says so far just $500,000 has been collected. The project to convert the old Canada Post building ran $79 million over budget by the time it was completed in 2016. There was an RCMP investigation, and in 2019, the prosecution service decided not to lay charges, citing an unlikelihood of a conviction.
So, since the police headquarters matter, we have made changes at the City of Winnipeg. We've implemented recommendations of external audits. We've hired a chief construction officer to provide better oversight of our major projects and to provide better information to councillors as well. And so a lot has changed since the days of Phil Schiegel.
An inquiry into the matter is set to get underway February the 10th. The Winnipeg Airports Authority wants to develop some land it owns in Centerport and is willing to fund the major infrastructure project required to make it happen. A new report at City Hall recommends Winnipeg enter into an agreement for services with the WAA. It would allow the Airport Authority to connect to city water and sewer lines. The Airport Authority would be required to both fund and build the major underground infrastructure needed. This includes water mains, sewers, and other items needed to connect to the city systems. The report will be discussed at the next Property and Development Committee hearing. Economists from accounting firm Deloitte are predicting modest growth for our province's GDP in 2026. In the company's winter economic outlook, Deloitte says trade uncertainty is being felt across Manitoba's economy. It points to a slowdown in hiring in the trucking industry as export activity weakens. In 2025, household spending held up in our province. However, Deloitte believes a rising unemployment rate will weigh on spending this year. In the year ahead, Manitoba's GDP is projected to reach 1.4%. Police in Nova Scotia have confirmed the breed of dogs that fatally attacked a 13-year-old boy. The RCMP say 2 Cane Corsos and a Rottweiler were involved in the attack. They have all been euthanized by a veterinarian. Police say the boy was riding his bicycle past a property in Welshtown, Nova Scotia, when he was mauled. He suffered life-threatening injuries and was airlifted to hospital in Halifax, where he later died. Police say the owners have been cooperative and even requested the dogs be put down immediately. Their investigation continues. This teen from London, Ontario, has an idea to ease the housing crisis.
I'm concerned about the people in the future that will end up facing that problem, right? Because house prices are increasing.
Rebel is a first-year engineering student at Western University. He has developed a modular home made to be inexpensive and functional. Rebel is also planning to live in it for a year to refine his prototype. Cool idea. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Colony Street will be closed from Portage to Ellis. Following the rush, all lanes will be closed intermittently on Oxford Street between Academy and Grant. And on Corden, all westbound lanes and the eastbound middle lane will be closed from Osborne to Nassau. If you have any other updates to share with us, please let us know.
Casting our eye to the sky, -2 degrees with that wind chill barely in effect at -9. It's clear and lovely. Winds are out of the west-southwest at 22 clicks. Pressure rising. Humidity at 85%. So while we're starting off on a clear note, the north, as you can see, decently overcast to kick off the day, although some sunshine is on the way to the northeast. To the northwest, you're going to be dealing with a good likelihood of some flurry activity today, but above seasonal values in -11 in Thompson's case, -12 in Gillam, -18 in Churchill. Island Lake downright balmy at -8. Northwestern Manitoba also has that slight chance of some flurry activity, particularly in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Paw, and Norway House, Lynn Lake too for that measure. But for the most part, it's a low chance. You're likely to be cloudy or a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures also in the low -teens. Southwestern Manitoba, tons of sunshine on the way for you, along with strong and gusty westerly winds. Temperatures at -8 in Brandon, touch warmer in Neepawa at -6, Dauphin at -5, Swan River under a mix of sun and cloud at -9. Winnipeg, we're looking at clear skies, a high of -5. Some even warmer temperatures expected in Morden and Winkler at -2, even Portage Prairie reaching -3 degrees. Northwestern Ontario, good chance of some snow or mixed precipitation, maybe some freezing drizzle. Red Lake likely to stay dry. Temperatures, though, very warm, 0 at Dryden, even above freezing rather, in Fort Frances at 1 degree. For us here in Winnipeg, we're looking at temperatures dipping down to -14 degrees overnight. Maybe 1 or 2 clouds joining us. Those westerly winds will ease and shift out of the south, but they're back again out of the west on Thursday, ramping up to about 20 kilometers per hour. Decent day ahead on Friday under a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -8. Saturday is likely going to be our coolest day of the last week, but that's pretty relative. -10 still above seasonal with a mix of sun and cloud, and we rebound nicely by Sunday, and we're attempting to get to freezing by Monday under more sunny skies.
Thanks, Catherine. Airplanes are often criticized for being too restrictive and cramped. Now, travelers on some WestJet flights are finding that problem being taken to a whole new level. CTV's Heather Wright on how the airline is justifying the big squeeze.
Dad, can you just straighten out your legs there?
Impossible. Economy class isn't known for its expansive legroom, but recent changes to some WestJet planes have some customers saying the airline has gone too far.
It was shocking to get in there and then have my dad, who is 6'3", so he's tall, but not like abnormal human height, physically not be able to fit in the seat.
Mom, how about you? Amanda Schmidt posted this video to social media showing just how cramped their WestJet flight from Edmonton to Toronto was.
You can hear us joking and laughing in the video because it was like, it felt like a joke.
But the Schmidt family says not only were they uncomfortable, they also felt unsafe. In the fall, WestJet announced a new cabin configuration to offer different prices for seat selection and says the changes were rigorously tested and comply with all safety standards. The airline says the new configuration allows the carrier to keep airfares low. To continue to do so, we need to try new products. These aircraft accommodate an extra row by varying seat pitch between 38 and 28 inches. But some passengers say just because an airline can reduce legroom doesn't mean they should.
It's gotten worse, actually. Yeah. No, we were very uncomfortable flying with them.
while others say they feel airlines are nickel and diming passengers on everything from legroom to luggage.
If there's too many little fees, it's better just to go with a different airline.
WestJet says they are monitoring the rollout of these new seat configurations and will take into account feedback from both passengers and staff to the changes that have been made. Heather Wright, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
A hit new Canadian hockey drama is turning heads on and off the ice. Heated Rivalry tells the story of a romance between two young male stars. It airs on Crave, which is part of Bell Media, as is CTV News. CTV's Alexandra Hollick reports the show could impact hockey culture.
Is everything you dreamed of? Almost.
The fictional love story of two professional hockey players is making a real-life impact.
Come here. No, you come here. No, you come here. No, you come here.
Heated Rivalry is a Canadian TV series that explores the ins and outs of a queer relationship in the shadows of a hyper-masculine sport.
Hockey has been probably the most masculine portrayed sport in Canadian society for a really long time, and to have this kind of a romance story portrayed inside the context of men's professional hockey at the highest level, I think will have an impact.
At You Can Play, we believe that sports are for everybody.
Programs like You Can Play are leading the charge with a goal of making sure everyone feels seen and safe in sports.
While the representation itself doesn't change hockey overnight, right, it does change who feels welcome to step on the ice tomorrow. And I think that that's really the biggest success of Heated Rivalry.
I think it's just brought a community together that's felt neglected.
Harrison Brown stars in the series. Before he retired from professional hockey, he came out as the first openly transgender player.
It was just a really validating process to be able to take place as just a man in society post my hockey career. But I think it really means a lot to LGBTQ plus fans who haven't always felt welcome by the NHL.
Crave has greenlit the show for a second season, but a release date has yet to be announced. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Guelph.
We're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be right back with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. Good morning, Manitoba. It is Thursday, January the 8th. It is 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley is live at a beautiful show home. We're going to find out a little bit more about the St. Boniface Hospital Mega Million Choices Lottery. We're also going to learn how there's an increase in flu cases all across the country and what's happening exactly and what medical experts are saying and what they're asking you to do as well. Now, when we think about the weather, it's not typical in January to see these kinds of temperatures. I'm not complaining. I'm kind of liking it, but today it's making for a few slippery streets.
That's right. That is the other side of it. We can rejoice in those warmer temperatures, but they do cause for that snow to melt, and we had a considerable amount just a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Makes it slippery and slushy because, of course, we know the freeze up is going to come on the other side of that. So I'll have details through the show about just how warm it's going to get, because if you can believe it, we're going to get even warmer into the weekend and start of next work week. Taking a check outside, it's currently -2 degrees. It feels like -9 with the wind chill. It's nice and clear. The wind's decently strong out of the west-southwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Air pressure is rising, and our humidity, it's sitting at 85%. So yes, we're going to be off to a clear start in southern Manitoba. The north, pretty cloudy and potentially fairly snowy. You've had a snowy morning in certain areas. That flurry activity likely to continue in the northeast. The northwest likely to stay dry before you get those flurries tomorrow. We, under that sunshine, will be dealing with some decently strong westerly winds. Bit of a shift out of the 20 gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. I mentioned those flurry activities. It's a very disorganized number of little systems that are likely possibly triggering that in the northeast. So they're barely picking up here on our futurecast. So as they progresses, it looks like they move away, although a little bit kind of lingers in that very northeasterly corner. However, the system that's likely coming to the northwest overnight and into tomorrow doesn't really register. Environment and Climate Change Canada, though, does say about 2 to 4 centimeters worth of snowfall is coming tomorrow. So that's what we're looking at there. And for us here, we're likely to get some snowfall overnight Friday night after another couple of days of sunshine. And it clears out nicely into Saturday, so at least we'll have the sunshine to enjoy. Backtracking to today, we're looking at a high of -5 degrees with those clear sunny skies and those strong westerly winds. Temperatures dipping down overnight to -14. The winds do ease, but they're back tomorrow out of the west at 40 kilometers per hour. A high of -8 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. That's when the overnight snow comes. And by Saturday, we're back to double digits at -10. Your weather art of the day, a masterpiece by 6-year-old James, my nephew. He's a talent for sure, but we'd love to see all your kids' talented works because we're running low on weather pictures. So please email your entries of your kids' weather-themed artwork that we're featuring every day on Your Morning Winnipeg. That email address, winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
We're following the devastation caused by a power outage on Pimicikamak Cree Nation. Although the power has been restored, getting back to normal is not as easy. CTV's Alex Carpa reports.
I got mold already.
This is now what Sonia Ross is living with.
Just cracked.
The sewer in her home backed up during a power outage, causing her place to smell. She also has water damage throughout the home.
A lot of money.
All of this caused after a power line went down in late December, leading to a 4-day outage that is still plaguing her community of Pimicikamak Cree Nation in northern Manitoba, more than 500 kilometers from Winnipeg.
I had weeping walls, right? And most of my beds are against the wall, so I have to see if there's going to be mold damage on these beds too.
Down the road from Ross, Murphy Trout is dealing with major flooding in his crawl space, but even with the damages, he has no choice but to stay put.
There's nowhere else to stay. I have to stay as long as there's a roof.
Many homes like the one behind me are being assessed for damage at this time, but leadership says it's unclear as to how many homes will need repairs due to the lack of resources in the community. So far, 35 homes have been deemed uninhabitable, and a few homes burned from electrical fires after the power was restored. Local plumber Randy Spence said the priority is to fix the plumbing for homes with seniors and children, but repairs could take months.
I just want to help them a bit, but it's impossible to do everything just like that, eh?
Chief David Monius says the community is still in need of plumbers and electricians and continues to call for the Canadian Armed Forces to provide logistical support.
We are going to fight for our people. We're going to fight for our infrastructure. This is our home. This is our land.
Water and food is now being flown into the community, and today a delegation of government officials and First Nations leaders arrived to assess the damage. Monius says they received a commitment for federal funding, but nothing provincially. The Premier says he agrees with calls to bring in the military.
I'm here to make the news around the CAF request, not a funding request.
As for Ross, she is making a simple plea.
We need more help.
Alex Carpa, CTV News, Pimicikamak Cree Nation in northern Manitoba.
The Manitoba Métis Federation is positioning itself to become a major supplier of wind-generated electricity. The MMF says its energy branch, the Red River Métis Power Corporation, has signed a memorandum of understanding with International Renewable Energy Company, RES. MMF President David Chartrand says the Federation is currently in talks for a 200-megawatt wind energy project. For context, that would be about 3% of Manitoba Hydro's current net generating capacity.
We also have a 5-year commitment beyond just not putting up the towers, but also the future of expansion of wind, solar, green hydrogen, also storage and distribution. So we attach those into our 5-year agreement with RES, and that'll be part of our ongoing development as we go forward.
It comes after Manitoba Hydro put out a call last year for Indigenous majority-owned wind power. It expects to issue its first request for proposals in March. The Crown utility says it will need new power generation by as early as 2029. A dramatic crash on a Kinew bridge is raising questions about winter driving safety.
People forget that it could be very slippery, particularly if you're over a structure that's over a river or a water thing, With the condensation, the black ice is another thing to watch out for.
This is the moment you can see the car lose control on the Draveur Bridge in Gatineau. It clips another car before going over the side, crashing onto the ice on the Gatineau River. Some people who live near the bridge say it's not too surprising, as there is often a lot of snow and ice buildup. The ice was thick enough to keep the car out of the water, and there were no serious injuries. But officials say it's a good reminder that the concrete barriers along bridges can sometimes make crashes more severe. Chrystia Freeland now says she will resign as an MP tomorrow. The announcement comes after pressure from the opposition. Freeland said on social media that she would vacate her seat January the 9th. On Monday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appointed Freeland as an advisor on economic development. At that point, Freeland said she was resigning as Canada's special representative for the reconstruction of Ukraine and added she would resign as an MP in the coming weeks. But that left questions for opposition MPs and ethics critics who say Freeland should have resigned as soon as she agreed to advise another country. It looks like this weekend will be a great time to head over to Assiniboine Park. It's hosting a winter celebration this weekend filled with all sorts of free, family-friendly activities, and that includes an outdoor movie.
How did you get in the forest?
The mist parted for us.
Impossible.
Hopefully you won't feel too frozen while watching the movie Frozen 2 at the park. It's playing Saturday at 3. Before that, there will also be horse-drawn sleigh rides available starting at noon. Then on Sunday, the park will have TP storytelling, followed by an outdoor screening of Happy Feet at 3. This is in addition to a large variety of winter activities available, including skating, skiing, ice bikes, and guided snowshoe tours. A detailed schedule of events can be found on the park's website. Here's what's happening now along Kenaston and Sterling Lyon. Things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see problems, let us know, though, please.
NVIDIA could get Chinese approval for some imports of its H200 AI chips as soon as this quarter, according to Bloomberg News, citing people familiar with the situation. The chip will be barred from China's military, sensitive government agencies, critical infrastructure, and state-owned enterprises amid security worries. But that could be reviewed on a case-by-case basis, the people telling Bloomberg. Alibaba and ByteDance have both told the U.S. chip-making giant in private that they are interested in ordering more than 200,000 units each of the H200. A person familiar with the matter told Bloomberg. UBS raised the firm's price target on Canada Goose to $14 from $12 and keeps a neutral rating on the shares. CY26 EPS upside for softline stocks is expected to be driven by a stronger than expected U.S. consumer and an underappreciated health and wellness 2.0 trend, with estimates at least 4% above consensus for 16 names, the analyst tells investors in a research note. Canada Goose is down 7% in the last 2 months and the worst performer amongst its peers. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at a gorgeous home this morning, and it's all in support of a great cause. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. I want you to picture this, okay? It's Saturday morning.
Okay.
5 a.m. when I usually wake up. I do my mocha chai frappuccino latte that will go in here, and then I take my book out with my bookmark that's obviously a fake flower, and that's how I'm living my lottery life. This is a hearth home, and you could be the winner of it. One of the grand prizes, there's 6 grand prize options, 5 home packages with the Mega Million Choices lottery. Today is the kickoff day. Another thing you could choose, if you're not feeling like a gorgeous house like this, is $1.2 million. One of the other prizes is a World Cup experience for 2 in Vancouver. And these homes, too, are worth over $1.5 million as well. That good cause, the St. Boniface Hospital Foundation. And coming up, we're chatting with a grateful patient.
I could just imagine it. Thank you so much, Ainsley. All right, the weather, I can imagine it's going to be another gorgeous day today as well.
Yeah, not a bad time. If your house doesn't look like that, get out, enjoy the outdoors, change the scenery a little bit, because wow, we're off to a gorgeous start here in Winnipeg. Let me just moonwalk out of the frame here. We're at -4 degrees in Winnipeg, and there's even some warmer temperatures being felt in Portage and Kenora at -3. Brandon, though, has started off a little bit cooler, as has been the case for the week, -10 degrees, -12 in the the Paw. Also some mild temperatures to kick off your Thursday in northern Manitoba, although it is accompanied by a good amount of flurry activity. The wind chill, not terribly adverse either. This is what we like to see. Yesterday it was feeling upwards of -20 or -25. It's not even cracking that mark today. So a nice break from that cold. For us here in Winnipeg, as the kids head into class and back to school for the day, -9 degrees under those sunny skies. Winds will start to ramp up around noon out of the west at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Temperatures reaching -5, which is also our high. And that sunshine continues on the way home at -7 degrees. Overnight tonight, a couple clouds potentially stacking up. Winds ease a little bit. Temperatures dipping down to -14. Tomorrow, we're starting to inch back down to seasonal, -8 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. And then overnight Friday, we're likely to get periods of snowfall. That should let up in time for Saturday. Our temperatures are a little bit cooler, relatively still above seasonal, but cooler than what we've been seeing the last couple of days with a high of -10 and a mix of sun and cloud. But we are rebounding nicely into Sunday with a high of -2.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Thanks, Catherine. It's time now for a question of the day. CTV's Ainsley McPhail, of course, is live at that gorgeous house, as you saw, and that is one of the prizes in the lottery. So we want to know for a question of the day, what would you do if you won the lottery? Would you buy a home, travel? Would you do some investments? Please text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please. Well, it's time for our Pet of the Week reveal. This week, we're celebrating Piper and Benjamin. They're just waiting for the last piece of toast in this photo, ears up and sitting for the photo, as you can see. Thank you, Clayton, for sharing this moment with us. Congratulations to these amazing friends. We love your Pet of the Week submissions, so please keep them coming. Share a photo and a fun story of your pet, dog, cat, bird, or anybody. And at petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. We're going to take a break now. We'll be right back after this.
Give a child a winter coat. You give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Good morning. Prime Minister Mark Carney is planning to host premiers in Ottawa later this month to talk trade. Senior government sources tell CTV News that the First Minister's meeting will take place on January 29th. It comes just over a month after the last meeting, which was held virtually, with the exception of Ontario Premier Doug Ford, who took part in Ottawa with Carney. The meeting comes as the CUSMA is set for review later this year. There is anger and sadness in Minneapolis over the shooting death of a woman by an ICE officer.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Thousands of people turned up at a vigil to protest the death. The woman who died has been named as Renee Nicole Good. She's described as a wife and a mother. We want to warn you about the footage of the shooting. It's graphic and disturbing. The shooting happened as ICE agents are in Minneapolis as part of an immigration crackdown. After the shots were fired, the SUV crashes into two cars parked on the street. In the moments leading up to the shooting, the officer is seen standing to the side of the SUV. It's not clear if the vehicle made contact with the officer as it drove off. Federal officials say the ICE officer acted in self-defense.
The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues.
The mayor of Minneapolis and the state governor are disputing Homeland Security's version of events. City Council says Good was out caring for her neighbors at the time of the shooting. The FBI is investigating. ICE is staying in Minneapolis. The state is planning to hold its own investigation. Novo Nordisk Canada is considering competing with generic versions of its Ozempic and Wegovy drugs by introducing lower-priced versions of the medications. Health Canada approved the company's submissions on December 22nd. Experts say the generic drugs are unlikely to be approved for at least a few months. The agency says evaluating the drugs is a complex process because Novo Nordisk's products were developed using biological processes, while the generic versions are made using chemical means. Here's a look now at what's going on in traffic along Notre Dame. Things have picked up over here, but the streets are slippery in some parts of the city and especially outside the city as well. This could be creating all kinds of issues and delays on the highways on the outskirts of the city. So be mindful of that when you head out this morning.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
There's a lot of work that goes into a blockbuster film.
Avatar films are not made by a computer. They're made by people.
And action.
Some behind-the-scenes footage has been released from the making of Avatar: Fire and Ash. You can see a side-by-side cut of the performance capture versus the final product on screen. The third chapter of the franchise has already surpassed the $1 billion mark at the global box office. Another twist in the ongoing sale of Warner Brothers. Paramount has been rejected again. Their latest bid to purchase the iconic studio has been turned down. In a letter to shareholders, Warner Brothers board says the hostile bid was risky because it relied on an extraordinary amount of debt financing. It is urging investors to reject it. Paramount's deal was worth more than $108 billion US. Warner Brothers also reaffirmed its support for Netflix's bid, which comes in at more than $82 billion. Hugh Jackman is no stranger to legendary figures.
People speak of Robin Hood, tell his stories. They're all lies.
Jackman stars in The Death of Robin Hood. The film also stars Bill Skarsgård. The story follows Robin Hood after a battle he thought would be his last. There's no official release date just yet, but we do know it's releasing sometime this year. And Katy Perry has earned more than a lifetime of memories. The numbers are in for the pop star's Lifetimes tour, which wrapped up last month. She raked in $134 million US in ticket sales. The tour features a total of 91 shows across North and South America, Asia, Australia, and Europe. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with Hell's Kitchen. At 8, catch 911 Nashville. Grey's Anatomy is on at 9, and The Big Bang Theory wraps things up at 10 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Casting our eye to the sky, it's -4 degrees to kick us off on this Thursday, -10 with the wind chill. Clear as a bell, winds out of the west at 21 kilometers per hour. They've eased a little bit since last hour. Pressure rising, humidity sits at 88%. So yes, slightly gusty day ahead for us here in southern Manitoba. Westerly winds at 20 to 40 expected around the noon hour. As you can see, very clear to start us off, while the north is contending with a good amount of cloud coverage and some flurry activity to kick off your day in most parts, particularly in the northeast. We are going to be staying dry today with a mix of sun and cloud, or mainly sunny, I should say, not mix of sun and cloud. That's tomorrow. A high today of -5 degrees, and those winds, as mentioned, fairly strong out of the west. Into tonight, they do ease nicely. Temperatures dipping down to -14. That wind chill, not a huge factor, only cooling us down another 5 or so degrees from there. Winds will be lighter out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour with a couple clouds moving in. We see some more clouds intensify into tomorrow. We'll still get a good pocket of sunshine or two with a mix of sun and cloud and a high of -8. And those westerly winds are back, but not quite as strong at 20 kilometers per hour. Saturday is likely our coldest day of the year, and that's only relative because, or coldest day of the week, excuse me. No, that is some wishful thinking, I wish. But yes, considering -13 is a typical high for this time of year, we're not doing too shabby under that mix of sun and cloud. I should mention also leading into Saturday, we have a good chance of some overnight flurries, some periods of light snow, nothing major. Into Sunday, we're warming up again, -2 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. And if you can believe it, we could be hitting the 0 mark on Monday with more sunshine. These hay bales got a nice little frosty makeover over in Seven Sisters Falls. Thanks so much for Heather for snapping that wintry scene for us. And if you've got any weather photos to share, we would love to see them. Email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Catherine. This pilot program aims to find stable homes for pet parrots.
Rather than using the traditional rescue model, we're looking at it from an insurance or a pension point of view.
Parrot Partners Canada says owning a parrot is a big commitment. It can be a lot of work, and some parrots can live up to 80 years. Their new adoption program offers owners a chance to pay a $20 monthly fee. The money covers support and a guarantee the bird can be returned if it can no longer be cared for. The goal is to find one stable home for as long as possible. A photographer on Vancouver Island is sharing a picture of an extraordinary moment. It's when he and his dog came face to face with a cougar prowling around their rural property. And as CTV's Anna McMillan shows you, it's a reminder of what to do when you encounter wildlife.
Well, it was 9 a.m. Chewy and I were going for his morning constitution.
When 20 steps out the door, they ran into a cougar.
And we got to about here, and the cougar was right by that rock right there.
Mark Rolifson first spotted the cougar in his home security footage, captured around 5 on Monday morning. 4 hours later, there it was again, sitting in his yard in Souk, which backs onto the forest.
Right here. Then he locked eyes on Chewy, and when they lock eyes, you can tell. And he actually made one paw advance towards us, and I just said, okay. Stepped backwards, got Chewy back in the house.
That's when he grabbed his camera, capturing these photos from a distance as the cougar took off.
The cougar on film was like trying to get a ghost or an alien.
He's seen plenty of bears in the decade he's lived here, but never a cougar.
Then I took Chewy for a walk in the opposite direction. He does his business, come back, and the cougar was sitting up on the hill waiting for us. And he looked at me, and I gave him the eye back, and then he just took off and went away. But I think he wanted to eat Chewy.
This is the second run-in with a cougar on southern Vancouver Island in 9 days. In Mill Bay, a cougar killed a family's cat and prowled their property for hours afterwards.
Well, if you're inside, don't go outside. But, you know, if you are outside, back away slowly. Maintain eye contact is really important. Don't bend down, make yourself look big.
This wildlife educator recommends contacting the conservation office, which Rolifson did. Another close cougar encounter highlighting the shared space we live in. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Sioux.
Ainsley is live at a gorgeous home, all in support of St. Boniface Hospital Mega Million Choices Lottery. Stay with us for more. Today is the launch day for the St. Boniface Hospital Mega Million Choices Lottery. Ainsley, you're in a beautiful home in Sage Creek this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. It's actually the kickoff. How exciting is that? Dr. Michael Schubert joins me now. He's the Executive Director of Research for St. Boniface Hospital. It's not fair for me to speak to someone like you and say, tell me about the research going on, because we only have 2.5 minutes. However, when people buy a ticket, broadly, where's that money going?
The money supports everything that we do. I mean, without funding coming in, the place shuts down. It covers everything from keeping the lights on and the power flowing to buying equipment. We use it when we hire people. It becomes very important for attracting people to the city and the province. We use it to support studentships and attendance of students at meetings and things like that. And we use it for supplies, to buy reagents that are then used in actual experiments. So it kind of goes everywhere. Money is the ultimate tool, because you can use it for solving almost any problem that you have.
A lot of this is cutting edge. You get the ultimate behind the scenes look. Is there anything that our audience might be super interested in knowing?
Yeah, I mean, one of the areas we're very excited about right now is doing genetic programming of cells so that they actually mimic the genetic makeup of a patient. And then we can print those cells into a microtissue so that they behave like an actual tissue as if we took it out of the patient themselves, but without having to actually do that. And that gives us a tremendous amount of capability to look at how these operate, what those genetic changes are doing to the function of the cells. If we want to print cardiac cells, if we want to print neurons, things like that, those are the kinds of things that we're starting to move into right now. So.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you guys about genetic cells and makeups and cardiac. No, Dr. Schubert, I'm just joking around with you. But why should people buy a ticket before we're out of time?
Because ultimately, research is a team sport, and when you buy a ticket, you join the team. It's absolutely critical to come and provide that support. You help us, and we, in turn, are trying to deliver for the people of our community.
And selfishly, you could be a millionaire. Head to the website, megamillionchoices.ca.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. All right, going to Catherine now. It's another mild temperature day today. but it might be causing a few problems on the streets.
That's right. We've heard about some highway closures. We'll have details in the show, and we have them on our website as well. But part of that reason is we got some precipitation in some parts of the province overnight, and we have those warmer temperatures, which is causing for those icy roads. It's -4 degrees. That wind chill, though, making it feel more like -10. It's clear. The winds are out of the west at 21 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 88%. So we have clear skies to kick us off here. Meanwhile, some precipitation in northern Manitoba, particularly the northeast, bringing some snowfall to start your day off. For the northeast as well, you're likely to see that flurry activity continue throughout the day as light snow. Nothing major, but some snow nonetheless. Temperatures above seasonal at -11 in Thompson, -12 in Gillam, a balmy -8 in Island Lake, -18 degrees coming to Churchill. To the northwest, you too have a slight chance of some flurries today. Likely it's just going to be overcast, maybe a few pockets of sunshine the further north you go. -11 degrees in Opaskwayak Cree Nation, -12 in Flin Flon, -10 in Norway House. North or southwestern Manitoba, there we go. While it is a bit of a mucky start to your day in certain areas, you've seen some snowfall. The sunshine will be joining you in due time. -8 degrees in Brandon, -6 in Nipawin, -5 in Dauphin. For us here in Winnipeg, much the same with those clear skies, a high of -5. Pinawa could be getting to 0 today, the envy of all. And northwestern Ontario, likely some mixed precipitation for you in the form of freezing drizzle, -1 in Kenora, 0 in Dryden, just 1 degree in Fort Francis. For us overnight, temperatures dipping down to -14 degrees with a couple clouds. And then into Friday, another high of -8 degrees that is above seasonal with lots of sunshine to enjoy.
Thank you, Catherine. Poor rural driving conditions are disrupting school operations in some divisions this morning. The Prairie Rose Division has closed some Region B schools today, including École Saint-Eustache, Institut Collégial St. Paul's Collegiate, and St. Francis Xavier Community School. Colony schools closed are Barrickman, Bonhomme, Iberville, James Valley, Lakeside, and Waldom. In the Division Scolaire Franco-Manitobain, parents are advised that due to freezing rain, many bus routes will experience delays this morning. And the Red River Valley Division has closed Starbucks School today due to a highway closure. Oak Bluff buses will also be affected. Poor driving conditions are causing some highway closures near Winnipeg this morning. Highway 1 from Winnipeg to Portage-la-Prairie is closed in both directions. And Highway 2 was closed from Oak Bluff to Starbuck, but it has just been reopened with snow and ice covered section. Oil will likely be on the agenda next week when Mark Carney heads to China to talk trade. The first visit by a Canadian Prime Minister there since 2017. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
After years of tense relations, a change appears to be brewing as Prime Minister Mark Carney gets set to try and address thorny trade issues in Beijing with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
No doubt there are going to be challenges, and the two countries won't see eye to eye on everything, but there are some common and shared interests.
Next week's visit will be the first by a Canadian Prime Minister in nearly a decade, and the first since China arrested and eventually released Canadians Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor in retaliation for Canada's detention of Huawei's Meng Wanzhou.
I really wonder if we'll get anything more than promises out of the People's Republic of China.
One of the biggest flashpoints that's expected to come up, tariffs. Canada imposed a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles in 2024, a move met by China, who implemented a punishing 100% tariff on canola oil and a 25% tariff on certain pork, fish, and seafood products.
We hope that there'd be tariffs, removed immediately. But as I say, this, history has said that the removal of those tariffs does take some time.
But while this 3-day trip is being viewed as a relationship reset, experts say Canada has to be cautious not to trigger any alarm bells in Washington, with negotiations on the North American trade deal set to begin later this year.
If we are seen to go too far down the path of befriending China, we know who in Washington is going to be irritated by that.
But while trade is expected to loom large, the Prime Minister's office says energy, agriculture, and international security will also be up for discussion.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be meeting with officials in Denmark next week as U.S. President Donald Trump continues to push for a takeover of Greenland.
Talk about Denmark or military intervention. I'll be meeting with them next week. We'll have those conversations with them then.
This comes after U.S. President Donald Trump and his officials said they are actively talking about the potential offer to buy Greenland. Greenland is a self-governing territory of Denmark. Rubio didn't clarify who exactly he would be meeting with next week, but the foreign ministers of both Denmark and Greenland have requested an urgent meeting with Rubio to discuss the situation.
He said we will always be there for NATO, even if they are not there for us. And I think that answers your question directly.
White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt had that to say when asked about the White House refusing to rule out the use of military force to take control of Greenland. In a long post on social media, Donald Trump said Russia and China have zero fear of NATO without the United States, and I doubt NATO would be there for us if we really needed them. Trump also said NATO members would not have increased their defense spending targets without his pressure. It all comes after the White House said in a statement, quote, "The president and his team are discussing a range of options to pursue this important foreign policy goal, and of course utilizing the U.S. military is always an option." Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The northbound curb lane on Colony Street will be closed from Portage to Ellis. Following the rush, all lanes will be closed intermittently on Oxford Street between Academy and Grant. On Corden, all westbound lanes and the eastbound middle lane will be closed from Osborne to Nassau. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.24. The provincial average is lower at $1.18. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.19, and the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.02. All this information is on GuestBuddy.com. Here's what's happening outside right now. It's -4 with the wind chill. Feels like -10. More Your Morning Winnipeg on the way.
Clear start to your Thursday here in Winnipeg, and a mild one too. -4 degrees, that wind chill just cooling us down to about -10. Not terribly effectual there. Conditions are clear currently, not too many clouds to observe. Winds are out of the west, barometric pressure is rising, humidity at 88%. We got a little bit of freezing rain last night due to a low pressure system. It is also causing for some slippery road conditions. We had details in our newscast. However, our temperatures are what would be driving that freezing precipitation, because not cold enough to create snow, and that is certainly going to be the case again today, because those above seasonal values, as Rochelle has mentioned, kind of a catch-22. So we're starting off mild. We're at -3 degrees in Portage, -9 in Dauphin, -10 in Brandon. To the north, temperatures very similar to what we're seeing here as you deal with some flurry activity in parts of Thompson, in and around Thompson, excuse me, and Island Lake. -12 and -8 there respectively. Over in Lynn Lake, -14 degrees this hour. Our wind chill factor not doing too much to cool us down. That's the good news. I think many of us think January, and we think those very frigid wind chills. I'm sure they will be joining us again. However, we are going to be dealing with lots of sunshine today and some strong winds out of the west at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. About -4 in the morning hours, -6 around 2, and -8 around 5 p.m. And that's when those winds really ease up. Overnight tonight, maybe a few clouds joining us, but for the most part decently clear. -14 degrees with some lighter winds as well out of the south. They shift again into the west on Friday with temperatures dipping to -8 degrees. And then into Friday, we do have a chance of some overnight snow, light snow, but snow nonetheless. It should ease off by Saturday, bringing us our coldest day of the week at -10 degrees. That's pretty good. And we're back to warmer conditions on Sunday.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about the St. Boniface Hospital Mega Million Choices Lottery. And of course, when we think about that, we think about winning the grand prize, but it's also about patient care and getting the best care when you need it when you go to the hospital. Good morning, Ainsley.
Rochelle, good morning. And I'm not going to say I don't absolutely love my other interviews, but I specifically love this one because, well, first of all, it's Hemant Shah. Good morning. Thanks for being on our show. It's the people behind it. It's the people who have actually utilized the hospital or are giving back today. You suffered a massive heart attack during the COVID season. Tell us about that care.
Well, I will say St. Boniface Hospital is my rebirth place. There where I got a new life. And I'm paying back to my community and my healthcare facility. St. Boniface is a state-of-art cardiac care. It's not only cardiac care, but we have a NICU, we have a research, but it's your own community hospital. And we need to support, and that's what I'm doing. I'm repaying back to my community, the healthcare facility who saved my life. And today, not only me, but thousands of people have been at cardiac care, at St. Boniface, and they've been taken care. But I will just convey, it's a mega million lottery. It's your own healthcare facility, your own Manitoban community. We look after not only Manitoba, Northwest Ontario, Yukon, for any cardiac thing. Please support. Hey, Winnipeg, your hands are cold, but heart is warm. Come on. This is the time, $100. Please. Thank you.
And it's Winnipeg. Their hands are freezing, so their heart is extra warm. You look like you've rebounded well, though. How do you feel today?
Well, I feel very good. That's what I'm saying. I'm paying back to my healthcare facility and St. Boniface Hospital and Foundation. And I urge Manitoba community, Winnipeggers, come on, show your support. Come on, I need your call right now. Come on.
I bet if you won the lottery, you would give all the money back.
Certainly.
Okay, you're the best. Thank you so much. Coming up, we are chatting with the foundation.
Thank you, Ainsley. The growing number of flu cases has many hospitals across the country operating beyond capacity. CTV's Abigail Beeman finds out the surprising places some are stationing their patients as they get creative with care. Well, there was a technical issue with that, and Canada, like the U.S., is dealing with an unusually bad flu season, the worst in 3 years, and cases are still surging. Some hospitals are so maxed out, having run out of room, they are putting patients in dining rooms or garages. And joining us now with more is CTV's Kamil Karamali. Good morning, Kamil.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. There are so many hospitals here, especially in Ontario, that are over capacity, that hospitals are having to get creative in where they're putting patients. You mentioned it off the top, but dining rooms being one of them. Also alcoves, corners of some rooms where there shouldn't be hospital beds are using beds there, as well as some hospitals even using hallways. And so that is happening in Sault Ste. Marie, a small city here in Ontario, where that is taking place. They're called unconventional spaces. And at Ottawa Hospital, an old ambulance bay is also now housing up to 20 patients. So how much overflow and overcapacity are hospitals seeing? Well, just in Ontario, as I mentioned, Sudbury, one of the cities here, seeing typically about 20 patients waiting for a bed per day. That has doubled in recent weeks, and the ER wait time there is up to 7 hours. Sault Ste. Marie, that city I brought up earlier, at around 120% capacity, and hospitals in North Bay and Timmins seeing closer to 3 or 4 hour wait times. And this is all due to an unusually high and hard-hitting flu season. The U.S., as you mentioned, seeing the highest level of flu and respiratory illness, and get this, 25 years. The last time it saw levels of respiratory illness this high was in 97, 98. Wow. Alberta now has 73 deaths. It added another 15 deaths this week so far due to the flu. And London, Ontario, 15 people have died in the last 4 months compared to 0 this time last year. I want to mention, obviously, Winnipeg as well as Manitoba. It's important to note that the latest data has not come out for that province. And so we're still waiting because a lot of the holiday backlog is accumulating. So we're hoping Health Canada comes out with the flu numbers for Manitoba soon, but that's just a bit of a snapshot of what's happening around the country.
It's pretty scary. All right, well, thank you, Kamil, for this CTV's Kamil Karamali.
Anytime.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 11th birthday, Kennedon. Love from your family. Happy 12th birthday, Matthew and Victoria. Love Mom, Nicholas, and Grandma and Grandpa. Happy 18th birthday, Madeline. Love and best wishes from Mommy, Harvest, Scoobithi, and Feefers. And happy birthday, Cassidy. Lots of love from Mom, Granny, Papa, and your siblings. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations. Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Another day of above seasonal values continues. -5 is what we're predicting for today. The average being -13. We're doing much better than last year at -7.4. The record, however, we're actually in close, I didn't notice that before. We're in spitting distance of that record. No, we're not. Oh my gosh, Catherine. That's a brain on no sleep. The record is 5.3. We got to get 10 degrees warmer than what we're predicted, so that's not going to happen. Apologies, folks, for the brain fart. Currently, though, it's lovely out here, -4 degrees. The wind chill is -10. Normally, if I'm saying something silly up here, I can blame the cool temperatures, but not the case today. Can't attribute my brain lapse to that. It is nice and clear. In fact, we're starting to see the sun rise, and it's just gorgeous. Winds are out of the west at 21 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 88%. Sorry, I'm still like marveling at that mess up. Okay, let's shake it off. To the north, you're dealing with a bit of a snowy start to your day. Temperatures there, though, are going to be peaking once again above seasonal in the low to mid -teens. Meanwhile, a low pressure system that spread some freezing rain over southern Manitoba. While that's eased off, these warm conditions are making for some slippery road conditions. We're going to be dealing with sunshine, though, in Winnipeg, and a high of -5, not +5.
Like a small guitar, has 4 strings, and inspires a lot of Hawaiian musicians. The sounds from a ukulele are beautiful and can help boost anyone's mood. And it's one of the easier instruments to learn, I'm told. The Filipino Seniors Group of Winnipeg and the Filipino Music and Arts Association of Canada have joined to create the Ukulele Filipino Club, and right now it's offering free lessons to older adults. And joining us now is the Ukulele Filipino Club instructor, Jeanette Perez. Hello, Jeanette.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. Now, you've always had a musical background. You play the guitar, you also played the piano, and then during COVID, you always had a ukulele, but you never played it. And what got you to pick it up all of a sudden?
I had so much time on my hands, so I spent like 20 hours a week practicing old songs.
And so you picked up the ukulele,
yes.
and you do have a musical background, so music
yes.
is easy for you.
It's easy for
But
me.
what makes the ukulele easy to learn for anybody, even if you don't have a musical background?
It's easy for anybody to learn because the chords are so simple, and you just utilize one hand for a chord, and you can easily play a lot of songs with 2 or 3 chords. That is.
Interesting. And
yes.
so, and what does it do for an older adult when they learn a new instrument, for example?
Well, it boosts their confidence because they realize that learning is not limited to age. They can always try learning a new skill, and it kind of shows off to their children
and their friends, right?
Yes, and their friends that, oh, I can perform.
That is amazing. And so what kind of response do you get from older adults when they're learning the ukulele?
They're kind of surprised that they can play a song and they can jam with all the other adults.
That's so fun. But it's also good for their mental health, of course. It's good for their development as well. It keeps their brains nice and strong to learn an instrument, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It stimulates their whole brain to like coordinate the chords and then the rhythm of the music, and playing with other adults like themselves, like they find it so fulfilling.
That is amazing, and it's brought so much, and it makes people happy hearing a song from a ukulele,
yes.
right?
Music is very relaxing to them.
Well, we want to hear you play something just short for us, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the club. What are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play I Wish You Love.
Okay.
Just a few lines.
Yeah, go for it.
I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing, and then a kiss. But more than this, I wish you love. And in July, a lemonade to cool working hard, and I agree that you and I could never be. So with my best, my very best, I'll set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love.
I love it. It's so beautiful. It really does boost the mood. You are teaching classes. You're providing free classes.
Yes.
Where and when?
It's 2 Wednesdays in a month.
Okay.
At the Filipino Seniors Group Hall at 49 Euclid Avenue.
Jeanette, thank you for bringing us some sunshine this morning. We really appreciate it. That's so beautiful. If you want more information on the classes and the free classes, you could check out a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Hello there, Kara Wagland inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we head to Charlotte, where the Raptors were in town. Toronto down 2 in the dying seconds. Manuel quickly with the catch and shoot off the inbound. He calls game from downtown with a huge buzzer beater. The Raptors rallying from a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter. It's their 5th win in 6 games, and quickly, very quickly, earned your must-see moment from Wednesday. Coming up tonight on TSN, we've got the college football playoff semifinal between number 10 Miami. They're going up against number 6 Ole Miss. It all gets underway at 6 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Thursday, January the 8th. Touring the devastation, political and Indigenous leaders see the ravages of a northern power outage firsthand as the call goes out for military help. A royal dilemma. Manitoba officials fear the ripple effects of Ontario's decision to pull Gimli-made booze from shelves in retaliation for a plant closure. And later, misplacing the ring during a wedding or proposal is certainly a movie cliche, but no one could have scripted a real-life twist on it like this one. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next hour for you, including an interview about the Little Theatre Festival. It's brand new this year, and it's all about celebrating local theatre companies, the little theatre community companies. So we're going to find out more about the festival itself, what it's going to look like, and if you want to check it out for yourself, some of the great performances you could expect. Also, if you're looking at your credit card bill after Christmas,
that's not my business.
You're probably freaking out. Well, there are some tips that we're going to have for you at 8:45 on how to sort of sort out your financial business. We'll have that for you. But the weather's a little weird today. It's mild.
You pointed this out earlier, Rochelle, that while we love these above seasonal temperatures, they can have a bit of a double-edged sword quality to them, and that we had some freezing rain overnight. If we had typical January temperatures, that precipitation would have fallen as snow. Because it's so warm, that freezing rain causing some havoc on our roads. We'll have details in the newscast. We are dry, though, this hour in Winnipeg, and will be through the day. -4 degrees with that wind chill feeling more like -10. Pretty clear out there. The sun's starting to rise. Winds out of the west. Barometric pressure rising. Humidity at 88%. Good amount of sunshine to enjoy once again today. Different story to the north, where it's been a snowy start to your day, particularly in the northeast. That disturbance likely to stick around throughout the day and potentially overnight. Slight chance of it reaching as far west as the Paw and Opaskwayak Cree Nation. However, you're likely just going to deal with cloudy skies while we stay in the sunshine. This is the system that we were talking about. It's really hovering around that very northeasterly corner later on into the day. We see our skies clear out nicely, but we are tracking a disturbance of our own. So we get a couple clouds rolling in overnight Friday, breaking up into the day, but this here arriving on southwest Manitoba's doorstep by about noon Friday, likely bringing flurry activity overnight for us here in Winnipeg. Not a terribly large amount, but still some precipitation
precipitation nonetheless, while the north starts to clear out. In terms of our temperatures, another above seasonal day, -5 in Winnipeg with clear skies. We get a little bit cooler over the next couple of days, but we're back to rebounding temperatures on Sunday with -2. What a genius who drew this. 6-year-old James, incredible weather art of the day, care of my nephew, such a talent. And we have so many talented kids out there in the province, but we're running short on your weather art. So please, parents, send us a photo of them to that email on your screen. We're featuring one every day on Your Morning Winnipeg.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Thanks, Catherine. Ottawa is being asked to provide military help for a Manitoba First Nation recovering from a power outage.
We are going to fight for our people. We're going to fight for our infrastructure.
Federal, provincial, and Indigenous officials visited Pimicikamak Cree Nation yesterday. A blackout hit the community more than a week ago. Power is back, but the damage left behind is extensive. Schools are closed and flooding has left dozens of homes unlivable. Manitoba Premier Kinew has joined Pimicikamak Cree Nation in asking for military help, but he stopped short of offering provincial funding. Ontario's Premier is going ahead with plans to remove Crown Royal from shelves in February. This despite the fact the iconic whiskey brand is mashed, distilled, and aged in Gimli, Manitoba and Quebec. It's because of where the product is going. The company that owns Crown Royal is planning on moving a bottling facility that's currently in Ontario to the United States.
My good friend Kinew, I love the guy, by the way. You know, they're doing a little production there in Quebec too, but it's all a bunch of BS. It's all going to Alabama, mark my words.
Diageo, the company that owns Crown Royal, says it's moving the jobs to the U.S. to improve its North American supply chain, but it says the whiskey would still be mashed, distilled, and aged at its Canadian facilities. Diageo is planning to shut down the Ontario plant at the end of February. Ford is vowing when that happens, he will pull Crown Royal out of all liquor stores in Ontario. Derek Johnson, the MLA that represents the area, tells CTV News he and opposition leader Abi Khan have written a letter to Doug Ford. They're asking him to reconsider his decision. The province is also weighing in on the latest developments in the Crown Royal controversy. A statement to CTV News from Manitoba Trade Minister Jamie Moses reads, quote, Manitobans and Ontarians are standing up to Trump and looking to support Canadian. That's why both provinces took American booze off our shelves. Buying Crown Royal supports Manitoba jobs. Now's the time to support Canadian workers and products, and that's our plan. We reached out to Diageo and have not yet heard back. One of 2 men convicted in a human smuggling operation along the border will represent himself in U.S. court. Harsh Kumar Patel was sentenced to just over a decade in prison last year after a Minnesota jury found him guilty of being part of a ring that involved people from India being driven to areas in Canada near the border and being told to walk across. The trial was told Patel helped organize trips, while his co-accused Steve Shand, who got 6.5 years, picked up migrants on the American side. Both men have filed appeals, with Patel's focusing on arguments that include a claim that the prosecution failed to prove he brought or attempted to bring aliens into the United States away from an official entry point. Here's a look now at what is going on in traffic. It looks like things are really slowed up here on Norwood Bridge. We do have a traffic note to share with you. Archibald is currently closed between Mission and Nairn due to a fire, and that could be why there are delays here on the Norwood Bridge. According to a post on X, crews are expected to be there all day. Use alternate routes and expect delays in that part of the city. If you have any other traffic tips, let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
The St. Boniface Hospital Mega Millions Lottery has a very important kickoff today. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. We are in Sage Creek right now in a beautiful hearth home. I am joined by Karen Fowler. Let's talk about some of those prizes because the foundation, you guys really deliver. So let's chat about the prizes, including where we're at right now.
Yeah, so of course there's always the big grand prize, right? With the 2026 Mega Million Lottery. This year we have a choice of 6 grand prizes. 4 of those are homes just like this one within the city of Winnipeg and West St. Paul. We also have a home available, though, on Vancouver Island in Victoria, BC. And then there's the ever-popular option of $1.25 million in tax-free cash.
We always say early bird, so Come on, get those tickets soon. Tell us about those deadlines and what some of those prizes are.
Yeah. So the first bonus deadline will be coming up on January 29th, Thursday, January 29th. You want to make sure you get your ticket before then, because then you'll be entered in every single bonus draw. And this year, we are going to have about 42 early winners through the bonus draws, and they will be splitting just under $500,000 in prizing. So there's amazing packages again in the bonus draws this year.
Wow. Speaking of splitting a little bit of cash, and last year it was well over $1 million, the 50-50.
Yes, exactly. So the 50-50 is once again unlimited jackpot. Last year we gave away just about $725,000, I think. So, you know, it's going to, hopefully it grows even bigger again this year. And there's another little bonus associated with the 50-50 this year. We will have, I think it's 60 early bird winners of $500 each.
Mm-hmm. Before we're out of time, I want you to give people the website and any other dates that I haven't mentioned.
So the website is stbmegamillionchoices.ca. You can go there to see all of the prize packages, including the show homes and, you know, the different home packages to be won, as well as all those bonus deadline or bonus prizes. And yeah, get your tickets early, because again, if you get your tickets early, you're entered in all the bonus draws.
Perfect. You heard it here first. You guys, okay. Head to that website. Also, you know where it supports, right? St. Boniface Hospital.
Yeah.
Come on,
It's
you
important.
have to do it.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. A hit new Canadian hockey drama is turning heads on and off the ice. Heated Rivalry tells the story of a romance between two young male stars. It airs on Cree, which is part of Bell Media, as is CTV News. CTV's Alexandra Hollick reports the show could impact hockey culture.
Is everything you dreamed of? Almost.
The fictional love story of two professional hockey players is making a real-life impact.
Come here. No, you come here. No, you come here. No, you come here.
Heated Rivalry is a Canadian TV series that explores the ins and outs of a queer relationship in the shadows of a hyper-masculine sport.
Hockey has been probably the most masculine portrayed sport in Canadian society for a really long time, and to have this kind of a romance story portrayed inside the context of men's professional hockey at the highest level, I think will have an impact.
At You Can Play, we believe that sports are for everybody.
Programs like You Can Play are leading the charge with a goal of making sure everyone feels seen and safe in sports.
While the representation itself doesn't change hockey overnight, right? It does change who feels welcome to step on the ice tomorrow. And I think that that's really the biggest success of Heated Rivalry.
I think it's just brought a community together that's felt neglected.
Harrison Brown stars in the series. Before he retired from professional hockey, he came out as the first openly transgender player.
It was just a really validating process to be able to take place as just a man in society post my hockey career. But I think it really means a lot to LGBTQ+ fans who haven't always felt welcome by the NHL.
Crave has greenlit the show for a second season, but a release date has yet to be announced. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Guelph.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
I need more Heated Rivalry yesterday. Inject it in my veins. I love it. Alrighty, it's gorgeous outside, -9 degrees. The wind chill making it feel closer to -13 as that sun starts to rise. Winds are light out of the west-northwest. Pressures on the rise. Humidity sitting at 91%. We dealt with some freezing rain overnight in southern Manitoba, causing some issues on the roadways and certain highways. We have details in our newscast and on our website if you need to learn more. The good news is we here in Winnipeg have a dry start to the day. However, there is some still snow falling in Dauphin. -9 degrees in that neck of the woods. Dry in Brandon at -11. For over in Kenora, -3 degrees. You can expect a slushy day ahead with a risk of freezing rain. To the north, also snowy based on a different system impacting particularly the northeast. Thompson, get your shovels out, -12 degrees. Lynn Lake at -14, the Paw at -11. Wind chill values aren't terribly extreme today. That's very good news. I do not love them. And they will be likely a little bit milder off and on throughout the rest of the week. Certainly as you put the kids on the bus, it's going to be sunny. Temperatures at about -9 degrees with some decently strong westerly winds. They ramp up around noon, even stronger at 20 to 40 kilometers per hour when we hit our high at -5. Getting a little bit cooler as we head home at -7 as that sun continues to shine.
sunshine. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to -14 degrees, maybe a few clouds for us. And then into tomorrow, another mix of sun and cloud day, above seasonal high with -8 degrees, but then likely some flurry activity overnight. We're going to take a break, but we're learning about a new Manitoba Theatre Festival coming to our province. Don't go anywhere. Details ahead.
When you give a child a winter coat, you give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
NVIDIA could get Chinese approval for some imports of its H200 AI chips as soon as this quarter, according to Bloomberg News, citing people familiar with the situation. The chip will be barred from China's military, sensitive government agencies, critical infrastructure, and state-owned enterprises amid security worries. But that could be reviewed on a case-by-case basis, the people telling Bloomberg. Alibaba and ByteDance have both told the U.S. chip-making giant in private that they are interested in ordering more than 200,000 units each of the H200. A person familiar with the matter told Bloomberg. UBS raised the firm's price target on Canada Goose to $14 from $12 and keeps a neutral rating on the shares. CY26 EPS upside for softline stocks is expected to be driven by a stronger than expected U.S. consumer and an underappreciated health and wellness 2.0 trend, with estimates at least 4% above consensus for 16 names, the analyst tells investors in a research note. Canada Goose is down 7% in the last 2 months and the worst performer amongst its peers. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Community theater provides an avenue for new and emerging writers, actors, and directors to learn the ropes and develop their passion for the stage. A new festival is celebrating our local community theater companies in February. It's called the Little Theater Festival, and it's happening at the Irish Association of Manitoba. Joining us now to tell us more are Siobhan Keeley and Steph Blanchette. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Tell us about the theater company scene in Winnipeg. How vast is it, and how is it really creative in terms of differences and what's available out there?
There are a lot of different community theater companies throughout Winnipeg, and you know, they all bring something very different to the table. Some of them are a little bit more avant-garde, a little more experimental. Some do a lot of the traditional theater. There's a company that only does mystery theaters. Some do the classics. And it's just a really wonderful opportunity for people who have always wanted to act but aren't going to get onto MTC stage to just get out there and really pursue what they love doing.
And it's a really great opportunity for people to hone their skills as well, so that maybe one day they can get to MTC stage, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so what sort of, development have you seen, sort of the evolution of some of those people who either work on stage or behind the scene?
Oh, it's amazing just to see the creativity, watch different writers as they've gone through the years doing, developing their scripts, getting developing a following with their companies that people now recognize some of the names that have been around for years. So it's exciting. And Winnipeg Fringe is one of the fantastic venues or festivals that happen in the summer, and we just saw kind of a lull in the winter that we wanted to provide more opportunities for community theater in the winter in Winnipeg.
So this is a brand new festival.
Brand new.
Tell us what inspired you to do this.
We had done a co-production between my group on Shawnee and the Winnipeg Mennonite Theatre Company last January. Steph helped produce it and manage it. And people really loved the fact that it was two groups getting together and presenting two shows a night. So one show would go on, intermission, the next show would go on. And people really loved it. And so we sat down with our friend Rob and we're like, how can we make this bigger? What further can we do to get more companies together and working together?
And so you came up with this. So what is this going to look like? Like, paint a picture for us.
So we've got the Irish Club for 4 weekends in the month of February. So Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday evening, we have shows. And each show will have two companies performing. So there'll be two one-act plays between 30 and 60 minutes with an intermission in between. So sort of we're saying we've got 8 companies, 12 performances over 4 weekends.
And what sort of productions are we talking about here? A little bit of fun, a little bit of serious? What are we
We've got a real mix, and we actually have 3 original productions, so brand new. No one's ever seen them before. One was shown at Fringe, but so 3 original productions.
That were written in Winnipeg by local playwrights.
Local playwrights.
Cool.
And several of the companies are doing shows that haven't been performed in North America before.
Okay.
So it's a real good variety, and I mean, mine's kind of a drama comedy. Yours is...
Mine's a dark comedy.
Dark comedy.
And we've got a parody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a real good variety.
And we know people love the theater scene here in Winnipeg. Where can they check it out, and when can they see it?
littletheaterfestival.com.
Okay.
Tickets are available. You would get a ticket for each weekend that you want to come and see. It's down at the Irish Association.
Tickets are $20 plus the processing fees.
Eventbrite fees. And it's every weekend in the month of February.
Sounds like so much fun. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And of course, we do have a link on our website as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mother Nature has really been putting on a show the last couple of days because, wow, we've had some mild conditions. -9 degrees with that wind chill, feels more like -13. A speckling of clouds to start us off. Winds relatively light out of the west-northwest. Pressure rising, humidity at 91%. So with these warm temperatures have come a bit of a backside and underside, if you will. A low-pressure system that spread into southern Manitoba, spread patchy snow and some freezing drizzle because those temperatures were more hospitable to warm up that precipitation to be more like freezing drizzle. Of course, that's caused some issues on our roadways. That system is pushing into northwestern Ontario today, leaving us under the sunshine with more above seasonal values. For us here in Winnipeg, that's -5 with some decently strong and gusty westerly winds. Northern Manitoba, a different system impacting you, particularly in the northeast. You've had a snowy start to the day in Thompson. Likely that's going to continue through the day under cloudy skies. To the northwest, you're probably going to stay dry with cloudy skies, but your likelihood for some snowfall does ramp up overnight. Temperatures in that region today, all throughout northern Manitoba, in the low to mid -teens. For us here in Winnipeg, maybe a couple more clouds join us overnight. In Winnipeg, we'll see temperatures dip to about -11 degrees, winds a bit, and then tomorrow more sunshine. Your Skywatch picture of the day, Heather dressed up, or took a photo of this dressed up hay bale, looking in her frosty vest. Thanks for sending that in, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
The 2026 Consumer Electronics Show, or CES, has kicked off in Las Vegas, where the world's tech community comes together to see tomorrow's tech today. Joining us with some highlights is technology expert Mark Saltzman. Mark, good morning. How much fun is that?
I know, right? Ainsley, I'm like a kid in a candy store here in Las Vegas. Every January, it's the big CES, Consumer Electronics Show, as you mentioned, where we get our hands on tomorrow's tech today. 2.6 million square feet of consumer electronics. That's about 45 football fields worth. So I've got some highlights for you, and we'll end off on a wallpaper TV as well.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's start with a futuristic laptop and where AI is going next.
Sure. So imagine having a full 2-monitor office setup that you can carry in one hand anywhere. So that's the 2026 Asus ZenBook Duo, featuring 2 14-inch screens together into one mobile workspace. And these are stunning 3K Lumina OLED touchscreens, no less, that make colors pop. You can keep a project pinned on the top screen while managing email or video calls on the bottom. So you don't have to, switch between windows or apps, which, saves you time. You can do more in less time. You can also turn it into a giant movie theater when you're, your off hours. Other features include an AI-powered processor, which I'll tell you more about in a moment, long battery life, and a super tough material called Ceraluminum. Asus.com has more on that. So yes, speaking of laptops, Intel had a ton of buzz here yesterday over its new Core Ultra 3 announcement. This is their latest processor, codenamed Panther Lake, which puts AI inside the PC itself. So moving from the cloud cloud to the computer to help with tasks like real-time language translation, writing assistance, but with better responsiveness and better privacy, since you don't have to be connected to the internet or share your personal data with an external AI agent to get work done. These new processors also have amazing graphics, up to 50% faster than before for games and 4K video editing, so for fun as well. And amazingly, these powerful processors consume less energy, not more, which results in much longer battery life. So Intel.ca has more on that.
And I understand smart home tech is big. What's new there?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about an amazing camera and then that wallpaper TV I teased you with, Ainsley. So yes, smart home tech, super practical stuff. I love the Tapo C645D kit from TP-Link. It's a solar-powered dual-lens outdoor security camera system, and yes, it'll work in Winnipeg, to keep an eye on large areas. It features a fixed 2K ultra-wide 160-degree lens and a 2K pan and tilt photo lens, telephoto lens rather, which work together in synchronization to provide amazing coverage. And it's got AI, so it'll detect people, pets, and vehicles, and then push a notification to your phone without requiring a subscription, which I really like. You can see what's happening, in front of your home or around your home, even when you're not there. 2 kinds of night vision. Love all that. So that is again from TP-Link, and that's the latest Tapo outdoor camera. By the way, that solar panel, you can get a full day with just 1 hour of sunlight, while the 10,000 milliamp battery lasts up to 4 months per charge. That's tp-link.ca. And then let's end off on that wow thing that I teased. LG Electronics announced the return of its iconic wallpaper TV. Take a look at this. So it's the LG OLED Evo W6, now with updated now with what's called true wireless technology, where all your inputs are connected to the Zero Connect box somewhere else in the room, and it can then transfer 4K video and audio wirelessly up to 10 meters away. So you just get a clean, minimalist TV hung on your wall, 9 millimeters thin, making it the world's thinnest true wireless OLED TV that has a technology called hyper radiant color. It's super bright, it's more powerful because it is a smart TV, and a lot more. LG.ca has more. So as you can see, no shortage of awesome tech here at the 2026 CES. Yeah, I'm going to see robots next. So
yeah, I'll come with you next year. Thank you.
All right, here's what's happening right now in Taché Avenue. Things appear to be moving quite well over in this part of the city. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any other issues, though, let us know, please.
Look at that beautiful sunrise. It's -9 degrees with that wind chill. Feels more like -13. Some light west-northwesterly winds. Pressure rising. Humidity at 91%. The sun will be shining on us all through southern Manitoba through this Thursday. Different story to the north. You can already see on our radar here. It's looking pretty dense to the north, and potentially in some areas a little bit snowy. Certainly the case in the northeast. Thompson has already had their shovels out this morning. It's likely that flurry or light snow activity could continue off and on throughout the day. -11 degrees there in Thompson, -12 in Gillam, -18 in Churchill, -9 in Island Lake. But these are above seasonal values by a good margin. Much the same in terms of your temperatures to the northwest. There is a slight chance of that flurry activity for you. Likely though, it's just going to be cloudy. Highs across the board there in the low -teens. Southwestern Manitoba, lots of sunshine on the way from you. I know Dauphin, it's been a snowy start to your morning, and areas here have also seen a little bit of freezing drizzle overnight, potentially causing some issues on the streets. The good news is the sun will be out, and those temperatures will be a little bit more mild, maybe melting that freezing drizzle, but could be causing some problems when we get colder again. This is the dance we do. And then in areas in Winnipeg and surrounding us in the Red River Valley, above seasonal values at -5 degrees in Winnipeg and Steinbach, -2 in Pineau and Sprague. That system that brought that freezing drizzle to us moves into northwestern Ontario today, so be on the lookout if you're driving out there. Take extra precautions. Temperatures there hovering at or just below freezing. Overnight tonight, temperatures dipping down here in Winnipeg to -14 degrees. Couple clouds, winds are lighter, and then tomorrow more sun with a mix of sun and cloud and a high of -8 degrees.
Thanks, Catherine. A major disruption to traffic in northeast St. Boniface right now. Crews are battling a blaze on Archibald Street, and that's forced the closure of Archibald between Mission Street and Nairn Avenue. According to a post on X, crews are expected to be there all day. CTV News has reached out to the city for more information on the fire and the ongoing traffic situation. Some positive year-end numbers from Winnipeg Police. There was a stark drop in homicides in 2025. According to preliminary data, there were 21 homicides in our city last year. That's far below the 41 reported a year earlier and nearly half the 5-year average. A police spokesperson says as of November, homicide detectives had a clearance rate of 84% for 2025, meaning they had solved 16 of the then 19 homicides. The Winnipeg Airports Authority wants to develop some land it owns in Centerport, and it's willing to fund the major infrastructure projects required to make it happen. A new report at City Hall recommends Winnipeg enter into an agreement for services with the WAA. It would allow the Airport Authority to connect to city water and sewer lines. The Airport Authority would be required to both fund and build the major underground infrastructure needed. This includes water mains, sewers, and other items needed to connect to the city systems. The report will be discussed at the next Property and Development Committee hearing. Former City of Winnipeg CAO Phil Schiegel has paid his $1.1 million court-ordered judgment to the city in relation to the police headquarters scandal.
It's good news for the people of Winnipeg. We fought this in court because we believe the people needed to be paid back, and plain and simple.
It comes after a civil court judge ruled Schiegel accepted a $327,000 bribe from a contractor. Meantime, Caspian Construction and several other defendants were ordered to pay $21.5 million. That number was set to increase every year it wasn't paid and will total $28 million if not paid by March. A city spokesperson says so far just $500,000 has been collected. The project to convert the old Canada Post building ran $79 million over budget by the time it was completed in 2016. There was an RCMP investigation, and in 2019, the prosecution service decided not to lay charges, citing an unlikelihood of a conviction. Economists from accounting firm Deloitte are predicting modest growth for our province's GDP in 2026. In the company's winter economic outlook, Deloitte says trade uncertainty is being felt across Manitoba's economy. It points to a slowdown in hiring in the trucking industry as export activity weakens. In 2025, household spending held up in our province. However, Deloitte believes a rising unemployment rate will weigh on spending this year. In the year ahead, Manitoba's GDP is projected to reach 1.4%. Travel agents say they're getting a lot of questions about whether it's safe to travel to the Caribbean. Canadian tourists have become wary ever since the U.S. raid on Venezuela. CTV's Sinjin Alexander with the details.
The U.S. military is still visible in the Caribbean, operations still underway. The travel chaos that swept through the region.
We didn't know what was going on.
When airspace around Venezuela was shut down is still clearing.
We can move to a different island, and they tell us all islands are shut down.
So it's no wonder tourists who want to get away are hesitant.
We are seeing Canadians, they are changing some of their travel patterns this year.
They're still heading to Mexico and northern parts of the Caribbean, but many are now choosing destinations that are much further away, like Southeast Asia.
With places like Vietnam and Thailand, it's comparable for 10 nights in somewhere like Vietnam or Thailand, same price as 7 nights in somewhere like Jamaica.
When it comes to the safety of hotspots close to Venezuela, travel agents will always point to the Canadian government's travel advisory. And they will, of course, recommend trip cancellation insurance.
Speak to your insurance provider and really share the details of your trip, where you're traveling to, when you're traveling.
How much it might cost often depends on the type of trip. A luxurious resort is bound to be more than a modest adventure.
One of the benefits of booking with a travel advisor is that they tend to be up to date with what's going on in the world and can offer alternates.
And remember, there is one constant on vacations. Plans usually change. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Here's what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. Things have really slowed down here, as you could see. It could be as a response from what's going on in the St. Boniface area, or there might be some other issue in this part of the city. Looks like crews, oh, here it is. We now know there's crews on scene at Century and St. Matthews to make repairs from an earlier MVC. So the lights are out there. Cadets are on scene directing traffic. You could expect some very large delays for northbound Keniston this morning during the rush hour, and that is what's causing these problems here on the St. James Bridge. If you have any other traffic tips, please let us know. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.24. The provincial average is lower at $1.18. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.19. And the lowest price in the city is $1.02. All this info is on GasBuddy.com. Today we asked, what would you do if you won the lottery? Sandy says she would pay off some debts and then would share it. Thank you for that, Sandy. Keith would take his whole family on vacation over to their birthplace country, which is Scotland, for a month. If they didn't want to go, they'd give the cash equivalent. Colleen says, retire, volunteer, audit a class at U of M, hire someone to help me organize the house, buy a new car. Thank you for that. Jackie says she would pay off some debts, move out of town to a small hobby farm, put money aside for my kids so they had a secure future and sleep in. Marlene would buy her hubby a truck, help her kids and grandkids and travel and help people. And Lori shared, if I won the lottery, I would set money aside for children and grandchildren and buy a new vehicle and travel. Then live a simple life to help ease these times. Well, thank you so much for all your responses. A marriage proposal is a moment couples are supposed to treasure forever, especially when there's a good story attached. But this one didn't go according to plan. Laura Spencer has more on the incident and the man who saved the day.
I was high up. I was terrified for my life. I'm about to ask this woman to marry me.
It was the moment Trevor Van Camp had been planning for over a year. A romantic proposal to his girlfriend, Danielle Jenkins, under the lights of the Sky Bridge, Michigan, at Boyne Mountain Resort. But his face says it all. What happened next was anything but part of the plan.
I was in complete shock. I can't believe I did that. All that money, oh my God. I just ruined her proposal.
The ring slipping through his fingers, falling nearly 120 feet into the snowy ground below.
I just laughed because this was such a Trevor thing to do. I think I was just more or less like, oh crap, what do we do next?
After looking for more than 2 hours, the couple quitting their search. But the resort's overnight snowmaking supervisor, Pat Harper, was determined to make it right. In the darkness, his metal detector picking up a signal.
I thought, no way, I just found that. And I picked it up, and sure enough, there was their engagement ring.
Trevor finally able to complete his plan with a proposal neither will ever forget.
I've had a lot of people ask me if it ruined the proposal, and it didn't. It made the proposal.
That's such a beautiful ring. You don't want to lose that. Oh, my goodness.
Whoever found it needs to be invited to the wedding.
Yes.
Bare minimum.
Yes.
Maybe get him in the wedding party. My goodness.
What a find indeed. How's it feeling out there?
You know what? It's she's got ice on her finger. We don't got a lot of ice out here because we've been dealing with some rising temperatures throughout the morning. We did have that freezing rain overnight. It's wreaking some havoc on some of our roads. We have details in the newscast about that. The good news is we're getting some warm temperatures continuing today. -9 degrees in Winnipeg, -13 with our wind chill. Conditions decently clear. A few clouds slightly to the north of me, but for the most part, lots of sunshine. Pressure rising, humidity at 91%. So that low pressure system that brought freezing drizzle to areas of southwest, Winnipeg included, areas of the Red River Valley, that's pushing off into northwestern Ontario today, where areas in and around Kenora can expect freezing drizzle. We hear sunshine, decent above seasonal values. For Winnipeg, that's -5 degrees. And if you can believe it, we're going to get even warmer into the weekend. We're taking a break for your morning Winnipeg, still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
We have a major disruption in traffic to tell you about in northeast St. Boniface right now. You're looking at a live shot. Crews are battling a blaze on Archibald Street right now, as you can see. And that's forced the closure of Archibald between Mission Street and Nairn Avenue. According to a post on X, crews are expected to be there all day. As you can see, they're still throwing water on that fire. If you have more details on this, please let us know. The city has been, we have reached out to the city for more information on the fire and this ongoing traffic situation. At Canada-wide, doctor shortage continues to fuel service disruptions in rural and remote emergency departments. As a result, some patients are being treated by virtual doctors when they step inside the ER. CTV's Allison Bamford reports.
I had a pretty severe migraine.
Emily True rang in the new year with a trip to Outlook's emergency department. She needed to see a doctor, but the only one available was virtual.
There are people that are frustrated with it, but at the same time, a virtual physician is better than not being able to see anyone at all.
The town is one of several that struggles with recruiting doctors. Vacant shifts are sometimes filled with virtual physicians connected either by phone or video call.
My little girl had pneumonia, and because a doctor couldn't physically see her and see her breathing, they debated sending her to the city.
In-person health care is always the goal, according to the Saskatchewan Health Authority, but with hospitals facing a countrywide doctor shortage, it's not always possible.
There's certain conditions that a physician cannot treat virtually. I can't do sutures virtually, but can I treat somebody's heart attack virtually? Absolutely, I can.
Outlook is one of 28 communities using virtual physicians in their emergency departments. Essentially, it's the last line of defense, preventing service disruptions and temporary ER closures.
I don't think we have any option but to innovate.
In other parts of the province, primary care, physiotherapy, and ultrasounds are being performed virtually through Saskatchewan's Virtual Health Hub, using leading-edge technology and robotics to close the gaps in northern and remote communities.
The future is a hybrid system where virtual care supplements and supports human care.
Doctors say human touch is still just as crucial in delivering services, and that's something many don't want to lose. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Outlook, Saskatchewan.
The sparkling and festive season is over, and January brings with it credit card statements showing the extent of our spending over the holidays. If being better with money is a New Year's resolution, or you're feeling overwhelmed with debt and worried about your financial future, we brought in an expert to help you get back on track and develop good money habits. Joining us now from Endeavour Wealth Management is Grant White. Good morning, Grant.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, a lot of my friends, family, they're worried about that statement that comes in January because often they spend a lot thinking about December and of course getting gifts, but then it's when January hits that you realize what you've done.
Yeah, the bill comes due. It comes every year at the same time too, so it comes due every single year.
So what's the best way to, first of all, tackle that debt at this point?
Yeah, I think the best thing, one, is to plan ahead 2 months ago, but if it's given that hasn't happened, or if it hasn't happened yet, the best thing you can really do is don't delay looking at it. Like, it doesn't do any good by burying your head in the sand, so face it head on. If you've got some bills to pay, take a look at what they are, and then start prioritizing what you need to do going forward. So for example, if you've built up big credit card debts, credit card is the first thing you want to probably take down because it's high interest debt, as we know, and that's one of the things that should become a priority if you want to get off of that the hamster wheel.
So how do you do that? How do you start?
It starts by, I'm not a huge budget guy because I think that really bogs people down because it's a lot of work. I would start by looking at where the money that you're spending, the cash that's going out of your bank account on a monthly basis that you really don't like. And then if you can divert that money towards the credit card bills, that would be a primary place to start. So look at the leakage that you've got in your budget. But I'm not here to tell you, like, hey, groceries are this, don't buy more bread or things like that. I think that's a waste of time. I think what you should do is focus in on the things that you really don't need in your life and then start applying that back to the credit cards.
And so then how do you do that? How do you plan for the future and avoid this kind of issue, right?
Yeah, so I think the best thing you can do going forward is exactly what you said, plan. I'm a big fan of planning out the entire year, and I'm a visual person, so I like to have a big calendar that has my full year on it.
Okay.
And then I like to plan out all of the things that I want to do on that. So, every month I want to have like a physical challenge, like a big hike or something like that I want to do. Every quarter I'm trying to implement a new habit, and that can be really helpful for somebody who's trying to get better at their own personal finances. So maybe this quarter it's like I want to make sure that I'm paying down X amount on my credit card every single month, and that's my first step. But don't get bogged down with like what's the end state. Start with like little small steps that are going to get you to where you want to be down the road. And if you're like a lot of people who want to travel, make sure that that's booked out on the calendar and you start planning ahead of that. And if Christmas is a really big thing too, plan that out.
So when you say plan it, you're also not just the calendar part of it, but you're also putting money aside to reach those goals, right?
Yeah, you bet.
So how do you whittle down your budget so that you are not suffering in the food food or in the hydro department?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously necessities. Like there's the food, there's the medicines, there's all the things that you need to do. So that stuff aside, start looking at the areas that are outside of that, the discretionary spending, and start prioritizing what's actually important to you in your life and living that life of fulfillment. And if there's things that are in that discretionary spending that's not enhancing your life, then it's probably time to move on from that and start applying it to things that actually can be more helpful in you being happy in your life.
You talk about travel, which obviously you need to save up for and sort of put that money aside. But even something as simple as a date night with your wife can cost a lot of money. You need to plan for those things as well, right?
You bet, absolutely. I mean, I should be better at this personally. If my wife's watching, she probably is. So those things do need to be planned out, and they are expensive. We all know restaurants have cost a lot more in the last few years. And so, yeah, I would set aside that as part of an important budget item if it's a priority in your life. And I mean, I'm the biggest enabler advisor out there because I love people spending their money, but I want you to spend it in ways that actually enhance your life. And so date nights are a really good one. And you need to plan it out and make sure that you've got room in that budget so you don't have to sacrifice.
And if you're going on a hike, you need that extra gas money to get you there.
You bet, exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And
Thanks so much.
Of course, if you do want more info, we have a link on our website.
We are certainly rich in terms of our weather this week. Another gorgeous start, -9 degrees, a few degrees cooler with the wind chill. Sunny with a few clouds here and there. Light winds, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 91%. Not a lot to show you about on our Skycast radar for us here in southern Manitoba, because we'll be dealing with clear sunny skies through much of the day. The north, however, overcast and snowy in certain areas like Thompson. That could be the case off and on throughout the day, dealing with some light snowfall. For us here in Winnipeg, not the case. We're getting up to a high of -5 degrees with those mainly clear sunny skies. Winds a little bit stronger than what we've been seeing out of the west at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Overnight, the winds ease. Temperatures dip to -14. Not much of a wind chill factor to write home about, with a couple more clouds joining us. Into tomorrow, high of -8 under a mix of sun and cloud. Friday overnight, another system rolling in could bring some overnight snow. Very light, but still a factor. And it should taper off by Saturday when we have our coldest one of the week. I keep saying year, not the case, I wish. -10 degrees, but we rebound nicely by Sunday. Stick around, we've got more Your Morning Winnipeg just ahead.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Before we say goodbye, we're going to kick things off with a cat who rules over robots.
It's Christmas time on the pirate ship, the pirate ship, the pirate ship.
Robot vacuums, that is. Check out Robin the Orange Tabby. He's captain of this ship. I bet she is also supervising the cleanliness of this house. Looks pretty clean.
I'm obsessed with it. Did they make this little ship for him?
Oh my God. Wearing a little red jacket.
Yeah, it looks like those are his horse-drawn carriages, except vacuums.
Well, this little girl has unique bedtime buddies. Yeah, no stuffies for her. This 4-year-old has some favorites she has to sleep with, like her skeleton, her softball helmet, dental floss, and of course a skeleton mask, to name a few.
It's like out of a horror movie.
A little creepy. Well, sledding on random objects, this guy tested it. Oh my gosh, this is him trying out all his household items as a sled option, from baking sheets to a laundry basket, even an air mattress. But not all items are created to slide down a hill, of course. It's best to stick with the tried and true sled. Oh my gosh,
How
that's
can
gonna
you
hurt.
tell it's the new year and his massage benefits are back?
Yes.
Yikes.
Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.